Even when you lost, there's always a hope. Rise and fight.
Welcome everybody to BSL. I am Zhanhun, and I am joined here by none other than Sane SC. How's it going, man?
Hey guys, how is it going? It's been a while since I've done a BSL cast, so thanks for welcoming me back.
Yeah, I mean, for those of you who don't know us, I mean, we're like the the backup tier to the backup tier. So if you guys miss, Nyokin and Curiosity and Diggity, that's okay. They couldn't make it today, but hopefully we're gonna hold down the fort. So yeah, I mean, I'm super excited for today. It's the round of 12 of the World Finals, day number 3. Today we have TerrOr, we got Sziky, Zhanhun, and is it XiaoShuai? Am I saying that right?
That's correct, XiaoShuai.
Yeah, I mean, this is a pretty star-studded matchups. All around. I honestly don't even know who's going to get out of this group. But any predictions on your ends? I mean, have you been watching any of these players?
I'm super excited to see these Chinese players play. I haven't seen any of them yet. I've heard that they just got into BSL the last 2 or 3 years. Is that correct?
Yeah. I mean, obviously they've been playing for, since forever. They kind of have like their own community. They have been playing at a very, very high level. And obviously Mihu was the BSL champion. So they're very strong, and there's a lot of them as well. It's not just like, one powerhouse like Bonnet or it's a Waltz, but they've got a lot of people out there that are really strong. And Zhanhun, I think he's one of I don't really know the exact rankings, but I remember people were talking about him being like the number 2 guy or around the number 2 guy. Really strong Protoss. He actually took out Gypsy 3-0 in the round of 8 last season, I believe. And so, I mean, Gypsy's a really strong Terran. So if you're taking him out 3-0, then that's pretty good. So
wow, so these guys have been on an island for years and years, just kind of playing amongst each other, and they come out and start sweeping BSL. That's pretty insane.
Yeah, no, I mean, they're good, man. I mean, I'd say they're probably, I think China's always been kind of like right second to Korea relative to, just on average. But it's really fun to see them in BSL. I mean, I feel like the competition's really strong lately.
That's great. More good competition makes for more great games. It's more content for us to watch.
Yeah, so why don't we just kind of go over some of the, the bracket here. So I believe we're actually going to be casting Sziky and XiaoShuai first. It's going to be a ZVZ, which is always super duper fun. Honestly, Sziky ZVZ is very monstrous. Like I feel like Ziki's like the foreigner Jadong or something. This guy's mechanics are out of this world. I think his ZVZ and his ZVP are probably like his strongest points. And ZVT is also very strong as well. But I like him, but at the same time, it's also because I'm biased. I've never really seen XiaoShuai play a ZVZ, and I don't know how much lag is going to be a factor here, but hopefully it's not too bad. And finally, we also have Zhanhun and TerrOr. I mean, that's going to be also an amazing matchup as well.
So what do we know about Zhanhun?
Man, he's a powerhouse. Like I mean, the games that I've seen, I remember one game, he went like 6 bases, when Gypsy was opening like a 3-base Terran, and he was just macroing like a madman. I feel like he kind of follows the Korean meta a little bit. Like he's been playing a lot of crazy speed shuttle type play. Really solid macro player, but I think he can also play very, aggressive as well. So it seems like a very all-around Protoss, right? Just kind of like one of those guys that can do it all. Play aggressive, play macro. He kind of, has like a solid Korean meta style in him as well. In TerrOr, obviously, super aggressive Terran, super solid player from early, mid to late. And so I feel like it's going to be a really good matchup. I think they both match up well against each other.
I've seen TerrOr do a lot of aggressive stuff, two-fact play, that type of thing. You think he's going to go like that today? Or
what?
You think he wants to play a late game?
I'm not sure. It's hard to predict TerrOr. Like, I'll go a little bit more into TerrOr later because I've played probably like 10 to 15 games against him in the past couple of weeks just practicing. So I know where his head's at a lot. But I'll talk about a little bit more about that when we get to those games. But yeah, it's very likely he might play super aggressive here. But yeah, the first map is going to be the first matchup's going to be the ZVZ. But yeah, ZVZ honestly hard to predict, right? Like, nobody really knows this guy, XiaoShuai, right? He's first time in BSL, and like I said, in ZVZ, anything can kind of go. But at the same time, Sziky's going to be my bias here.
All right, I'll put my money on XiaoShuai then. Look at that handsome guy. XiaoShuai, it means small handsome. So he's showing off there in the picture. What is he holding in his fingers?
I don't know. It looks like it probably is like a card. He's like going to swipe it at you. You know what I mean? He's also a poker player. I see. Yeah, that's actually cool how, lots of, StarCraft players kind of go into poker. I like poker myself, but...
I thought that was his trap card. He was going to throw it.
It kind of looks like it. I mean, if you look at it, he's kind of wearing like a little badge or something, right? Like on his neck. So it looks like he's at some sort of convention. But...
That's pretty funny. On the other hand, Sziky, look at his profile picture there, man. He looks like a creeper in a Japanese convenience store. He's about to look at some nudie mags.
Oh man, okay, that's why you got to do that, man? Now everyone's gonna think the same. All right, we've got we've got the first map. It's gonna be Neo Sylphid, man. So, any thoughts on this ZVZ?
ZVZ, I mean, it's all about the rush distance. And of course the entrances. You've got a pretty small entrance here. Can block with very few links, but you don't have to high ground. I guess high ground doesn't matter too much when it comes to Ling versus Ling. But yeah, I haven't played a lot of ZVZ here.
Yeah,
I think that the natural, it doesn't really matter unless we have some sort of weird meta now. It's been a little while. Yeah. I cast a lot of KCM, so I don't do as much in the mirror matchups, but I don't know. This is going to be interesting.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's a great match. I mean, obviously the big factor is going to be who's going to spawn at 12 o'clock, right? The OP mining spot. That's going to make a big difference, especially if you know how to boost. But yeah, we'll get into it and see what they opt to do, man. If they play kind of a hatchery first style or leaning first style. All right, we're gonna get into it. Game number one in the 12 o'clock position. We have the blue Zerg as XiaoShuai. That's your cue.
All right, and in the bottom right here, we've got Sziky.
All right, sorry, we're still getting used to it, guys. But yeah, it looks like XiaoShuai actually got to the 12 o'clock. I mean, that's going to be a pretty big deal. I mean, the right side you can also boost. But really, man, like, whenever I talk to, for example, I talk to Crossy, who's like he's been kind of inactive lately, but he always obsesses about mineral boosting. Mineral boosting is like this insanely crazy detailed thing where I don't remember all the things, but like on 12 o'clock in Sylphid, you can get your pool super fast, and they're pros. There are players who actually have builds for 12 o'clock self-hit because they're, you know, like for example, you can go 12 hatch or 11 hatch super fast and block a 9 pull because it's just that strong in terms of the mining. But let's see if he's able to exploit that, and let's see what he wants to do. But looks like so far we have an early pull coming out of Sziky.
Yeah, I feel like maybe XiaoShuai not taking advantage of that as much. He's also not moving his larva to the right-hand side. I don't know. Sziky got his a little bit faster, his pool. So
yeah,
maybe not totally aware of the mineral boosting strategies you're talking about.
Yeah, no, I think he kind of is. But it looks like from XiaoShuai he's going to be playing a little bit, you know, safer with the 12 pull gas. And this is going to be, I feel like this is kind of the classic, you know, build order kind of. In my opinion, I think this is roughly 50-50, right? Because Sziky's going to come out with a lot of things. He's getting speed, so it's not going to be 9 pull layer. So it really comes down to the Ling micro, you know, right at the front of the base. Whereas XiaoShuai is going to have 6 Lings, probably pull 2 to 3 drones. And if Sziky can out micro and out muscle the guy, then it can be game over.
Right, but XiaoShuai should be in a pretty decent position as long as he holds this, right? The later pool, the earlier second base, as long as he holds this push, he should be okay. It's all going to come down to the drone micro.
Yeah, so here it comes. The Lings are coming out. Is he going to get a drone pull, or is he just going to block this only with Lings? Ooh. Like, okay, we're going to come in here.
Oh, okay.
Oh, picks up one Ling. Oh, that's going to be huge.
Yeah, he's just buying time here. He's got the first kill. He's slowed things down enough now that he should have more Lings with his rallies closer. It's going to be hard for Sziky here. He's almost trapped in this corner, but the speed upgrade does kick in. This is going to change the game here.
Yeah, I mean, it was unfortunate he lost 2 Lings already, but then he is pressuring. I don't know what Ziki's plan is here. He's going to try to snipe some Lings, but he can't take down the hatchery, right? Because he only has a couple of Lings there. So this looks really poor for Sziky as long as XiaoShuai can just stay composed.
Oh, but more Lings coming in here to the natural, and they have that speed. He's going to get a drone.
Oh my gosh, and he got 2 drones! Dude, Ziki's micro is insane here, so it looks like he's picking up a lot of the advantages with that speed advantage, but now he's going to come back home because he knows that that window of opportunity is now closed because there's speed on XiaoShuai's side as well.
That's right, and the extra larva there from the natural going to mean he can produce way more Lings than his opponent. He's still on a pretty good number of drones, actually 1 drone ahead of Sziky there, but he's got his earlier Spire going. He just needs to hang on for this Spire. He's even making a sunken colony back at home. He needs to hold on here.
Ooh, I think that may have been a misstep because he could have held the ramp just for a little bit, just to buy a little bit more time, and that sunken colony is not quite done yet, so this might start to be the end of him. But was there a counterattack at XiaoShuai's base?
2 Lings running into XiaoShuai's base. Does he have anything back at home? Nothing here. He's actually not been producing. 3 eggs start at the same time. Uh-oh, he's losing quite a few drones. 2 have gone down already. Here comes a 3rd.
Oh! Yeah, but you know what? Back at home, only 4 drones for Sziky, so this is going to be really tough. Now, both players are very, very poor. And, you know, it's obviously... Yeah, I want to say this is going to be XiaoShuai's advantage just because Sziky just doesn't quite have the money for mutas. I mean, he's going to make a couple. Maybe he gets to harass a drone or 2, but it's going to be hard for him to get to that critical mass.
Yeah, absolutely. Does he just go for Evolution Chamber? Yes. Going to throw down that Evo. He will be going for the Spore defense here. That does cost a lot of drones, so it's going to give a chance here for Sziky to catch back up.
Yeah, so even if we had some beautiful micro, I do think that misstep was, if he could have stalled right at that ramp for just a little bit longer before the sunken colony got out, he may be able to you know, get a little bit more out. Oh, and it looks like he's actually making Lings? Oh, Okay, okay, maybe he's making a couple just to kind of buffer, so he doesn't get mass link here. But yeah, let's see what they have to do.
Yeah, it looks like XiaoShuai just waiting for the Mutalisk to leave. He's not going to even wait that long, though. Goes in for a drone kill. Can he get one? Great micro from Sziky. Keeps all of those alive.
Yeah, that's actually huge. You know, I think Sziky has been outplaying XiaoShuai in terms of the micro department. I mean, we see how strong he is, and losing those 4, 5, 6 links for free is actually going to make things interesting here because XiaoShuai is very, very poor.
XiaoShuai still with those 12 drones, though. It's going to be a hard deficit to make up. He's even adding on 2 spores at each base. Man, he has so many more drones than his opponent. I think Sziky really has to do something here.
Yep. So usually in this kind of situation, there's probably two choices for Sziky. Well, probably more like one. And one of them is to just make critical mass of mutas. Like, for example, if you can make 8 mutas, you can probably start sniping one of the spore colonies, and then you can just kind of go for the win. You can also start making like 5 mutants all links, right? With a bunch of links. Oh, looks like that hatchery might actually be out of position there. But yeah, you could start doing a switcheroo with a bunch of speed links because they don't have any sunken colonies, right? They're focused so much on their air defense. But basically, he's on a timer. Once that Spire finishes, it's gonna be probably gonna be game over. But let's see what Sziky opts to do.
Yeah, it looks like the Lings can actually hit this hatch just outside of range of the sunken colony. Mutas do return, though. We'll keep that alive. That would have been really troublesome for Sziky had that gone down. He needs that extra larva. He needs to start catching back up here. Yeah, I think you're right. Once this Spire finishes, XiaoShuai is just going to explode ahead in the muta count. There's not going to be any way to catch up once he's got that extra gas as well. Whoa, some drones not mining here in the main. That is a problem. There we go. Finally sending those to work. He's not going to be able to transfer any drones anymore, though, with Sziky here.
It's only 2 mutas, so I actually think that Sziky might just be going wings here because usually with the muta advantage, okay, never mind. You typically want to take the expansion if you want to play it out, but the fact that he's not taking expansion means he's got to end it right here, right now. And so it looks like he does get the links through. Beautiful play, and if he can just camp the spot and use the anti-air to his advantage, this could be checkmate. So we do have some link support. If he can continue to get as much value from the mutas there, maybe he gets some damage done, but probably XiaoShuai is making some backup links behind.
Yeah, absolutely. Just 2 mutas, not going to be enough to clear this. More mutas popping up now from XiaoShuai, and he's just going to fight with the drones here. It looks like he loses 1 drone. The spore colony won't go down, and now with 3 mutas popping out, he suddenly has the muta advantage.
Yeah, so now this is for sure game over because there was a small window for Sziky to maybe do something, but you see, he had to remake all of those drones, and he's still making drones. I'm very surprised by that because I thought he was just going to go all in to kind of bust, but I guess that wasn't a possibility because he was just too poor. So I guess he might just be expanding and relying on a superior micro. Now, it's going to take a little bit of time for XiaoShuai to catch up in the muta count, but I mean, it's actually, he's already caught up. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what he's going to do. I guess he just has to micro his ass off to survive.
Yeah, a few good Scourge hits can change the game in a ZVZ, but that's a long shot here for Sziky. He's not going to have that second gas for a very long time as the hatchery just coming up in the natural. Meanwhile, starting to mine here for XiaoShuai. He's going to be pulling ahead and grabbing a 3rd base as well. Damn.
Wow. Yeah, you know, that 3rd base is it's a great move, but it's also kind of risky, right? Because now you kind of open up another base for Ling counterattacks to kind of do damage. He doesn't even have a sunken at the main base, so it's most certainly not a bad move, but I would say it's a high level move in that if you can manage all of your bases well, man, it's going to be deadly. That's going to be checkmate. But like I said, Sziky's really crafty with these links, so if you can find an opening here, and I don't even think he might even suspect that 3rd right away, because that's a pretty fast 3rd bait.
That's right. I think XiaoShuai might be underestimating his position right now, and that could be trouble for him. He's got a huge mute advantage, and there's a natural coming up right now. There's no spores here. He can counterattack this, and really Sziky can't do any counterattacking. That's the thing that spores by you, is that protection against the mute counterattack. Now here we go. Huge fight here. Oh, the micro.
Oh,
Just
XiaoShuai.
backs away from the Scourge, gets those kills, and now Sziky has to run. He's abandoning his natural. Some Scourge for XiaoShuai arrive here, and he's just going to run him down. Way more mutas here for XiaoShuai. I think this is going to be GG, man. Oh, a few more Scourge pop up, and he finishes him off. GG.
Man, that was like, we saw, I mean, that was a clean win from XiaoShuai, like, coming off the 12 pool, defending the 9 pool speed, and a very textbook, type of win, right? Like, you kind of counter push with all the lings because you have 2 hatches to 1. He got into the base before the sunken colony's finished, and really you're not always trying to win right there, although you can, but he really just kind of stifled Zyky's economy, so Sziky wasn't able to go a Muta all-in, he didn't have production for a Ling all-in, and Sziky had to remake drones and couldn't get anything done, so really well played by XiaoShuai.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you as well. The overall micro of Sziky seemed better, but XiaoShuai had a game plan that really worked in his advantage, and he ends up taking that game. First one for the newcomer, XiaoShuai.
Yeah, I mean, it's best of 3 as well, so, Zyky's going to need to win these next 2 games immediately to win this. But, I still have a lot of confidence, because, like I said, I felt like his micro was really good, and I felt like he, he's also feeling good. I think he was just maybe a little bit sad about the early 1 or 2 Ling losses, and also not buying enough time at that ramp there. But typically as a player, as long as your hands feel good, as long as your micro's there, he should be confident going into game number.
Yeah, for sure. Just fixing a couple of little mistakes there. I know it can be very hard to set up a wall-in with the Lings quickly after you do that retreat. The turnaround came. XiaoShuai was coming across the map with the Lings. He's trying to set up his Lings at the front to create that wall, but just wasn't quick enough. XiaoShuai slips by, and that may have just been the deciding factor in that game.
Yeah. All right, so the next map is going to be Butter, and 2-player map again, so less opportunity for anything kind of cheeky here. The cool thing about Butter and ZVZ is that both of the mining patches are to the right, and so there's no luck, so to speak, right? Like spawning luck, like we may have seen in Silted. And not taking anything away from XiaoShuai, but like I said, there's less RNG in here. So let's see if this could work out in Zyky's favor. Yep.
Oh, was that me lagging out, or was that you? All right.
No, well, either way, we're back. But top right, we got the red Zerg as Zyky.
And down here in the bottom right, we've got XiaoShuai, the blue
Zerg. Yeah. All right. So, yeah, I mean they're both mining. Both mine at the same rate. Although I feel like I didn't see Sziky mine that second to bottom. Okay, there it is. Yeah. Yeah. Let's see what they try to do. I mean, Sziky, the 9 pool he might do it again, right? Because it really favors and plays into his style, because he's excellent at micro. He knows how to control the units at a low unit count type situation. So yeah, let's see how this goes. But actually, he's gonna make an Overlord first, and XiaoShuai is the one that's going 9 pool. Interesting.
Yeah, a bit of a reversal here. I really love this map. What do you think about Butter, man? This is one of my favorite maps right now.
Yeah, it's cool. I think it's symmetric, but it doesn't really play symmetric. You know what I mean? It's got a lot of like weird quirks, like even like taking the third base. Like, do you take the high ground, the low ground? I feel like it's kind of different based on the matchup that you're on. But obviously in ZVZ it doesn't matter a whole lot, except that it kind of has like the smaller ramp opening, similar to Sylphid. It's symmetric, so I feel like in ZVZ usually, or most mirrors, it doesn't play too much of a factor. But yeah, it's pretty great map.
I like to mention about this map. One thing is that there are so many different attack paths here. There's like 4 or 5 different paths that you can take. It's like Eclipse on steroids here, in that there's just so many different ways that you can send Lings across the map. I'm really interested to see how this plays out in ZVZ, because counterattacks are going to be a huge factor.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, especially if the Lings can kind of slip through different ways and the Overlord can't really see. But we do have the 9 pull. Oh, and his Overlord misses it. And this is really well timed by XiaoShuai, because the Overlord can't quite get there in time. But Sziky should be aware that a wraparound is possible, but this does slightly delay the length, the rush distance. So it looks like Ziky's gonna be fine. He's gonna be pulling his 2 drones, and hopefully we could defend this well.
This is what we were expecting in the previous game. Ooh, nice micro there from Sziky, getting on top of one of those drones. He's getting some good damage here, but actually XiaoShuai takes that victory with just 2 Lings almost dying there. His Ling advantage is growing here. Oh, gets a drone.
God. Pretty uncharacteristic of Sziky, because I mean, he had his Lings a little bit too forward and they got picked off, and honestly this might be game over, because it's so hard to stop these Lings. And I know Sziky is probably super sad there, because that's really not what you want happening, and I don't think we can come back from this one.
Oh man, XiaoShuai just running over all these Lings, the speed Lings chasing everything down. There's nothing back in the main base. You're right, this is going to be GG. Such a fast ZVZ, but that is the nature of this matchup. Oh, more Lings coming in here to the natural. Sziky trying to hold on. A desperate situation here. He just got nothing back at home. He does have that additional larva coming out from the natural, but he's still losing drones. He's 2 drones behind at this point, and the Lings are just pouring across the map. XiaoShuai, he knows he's in a winning position here, just going to continue to flood Lings.
Yeah, well, I know. I mean, actually, Sziky, taking the Ling advantage, but I mean, impressive that he didn't just lose right there. I don't know if that's kind of some consolation, but yeah, he's just way too poor. I mean, let's see if we can actually extend this game. If we can get a nice pressure on, there is a universe that Sziky wins, but Sziky has to win it literally right here. Like, maybe even bring a drone and I don't know. I mean, the Spire's almost done, but we literally have to win it right here. And I guess there's a universe if XiaoShuai really messes up the micro, but
yeah, he just keeps producing Lings here. He's going to fight at the ramp. The sunken colony is finished. He needs to just continuously produce Lings. There's no room for anything else. He actually pumped an Overlord, which is a little bit unfortunate. He needs to produce Lings, man. Why is he not producing Lings? Okay, he's going to produce 2 Mutas, but there's a possibility right now that Sziky just comes in here and kills the Spire. He could even kill this sunken colony. Oh man, a bit of an error here. He's going after the drones. Gonna kill the Spire right away. Only 2 Mutas have been produced. And blocking here is pretty good. Down to just 3 drones though. XiaoShuai, has he made the mistake of his life? Oh my god.
Well, we don't have any anti-air, and we gotta take out some of those drones, so very insane. I mean, that was the one out, the one possibility, but 3 Mutas are still pretty potent, so we have to play this smart, right? We almost have to use the Lings to deny the opportunity for XiaoShuai to actually attack. And can we get one more drone? Oh, one more falls down, and so we only have Oh, can we get that one? Oh my god, so we only have one drone mining to Zyky's 7. So actually, all of a sudden, Sziky actually turns it around.
Wow, that was the one way that XiaoShuai could lose this game, by saving Larva, building that Overlord, just going for mutas. He made a huge mistake there. You gotta know your position in this game is that you are going to win 100% unless you die to a Ling attack. And yeah, he just let that happen.
Sometimes you get a little bit overconfident. That's just kind of unfortunate. That's what happens in this game, where like you just know you've won and you don't overmake the defense, and you're like in a 99-1 scenario, but you're like, yeah, that 1% is not going to happen. But the 1% literally happened, and we do have a counterattack. Those Lings might be able to pick off those 2 drones because we have nothing there. So this is going to be really nasty because XiaoShuai is focused on picking off drones. Oh, he looks like he is going to be able to get that spawning pool, but let's see if Sziky can do some... Oh, and he's going to pick off the pool himself, an eye for an eye. Holy smokes. And we have the Spore Colony out.
Ooh, taking a lot of damage on that one Muta. Oh, almost loses it. He cannot lose a Muta right now. Those are so important. And yeah, you're right. The spawning pool is going to die. Probably the extractor as well. That's so unfortunate. And a bunch more Lings arrive here in the main base. Going to surround and kill the sunken colony. And that's going to be it. XiaoShuai is going to lose this game. Those last 2 drones running for their lives. Oh my god, I keep calling it, but he's still hanging in here. I think, though, with this last drone going down, there's just no way to even mine up to 50 to get another drone, so he'll have to give up. There you go. Oh man, how are these still alive?
Oh, it takes one out, but can he get the last one? Oh, gee.
That's it.
Feels bad, man. Oh my god, I am so dude, that was... I'm just speechless.
That was a great ZVZ.
I mean, you know, one thing that I really want to call out there is when Sziky got broken in the beginning, and then, you know, he was kind of stalling with his Lings on both hatcheries. That was insane because most people just GG right there. You know what I mean? Like, the Lings are popping in, they have speed Lings. He's got like 8 to 4 or something. Most people GG right there. And most people who don't GG are going to try to micro it, and they'll kind of like prematurely fight. But Sziky saw, with his experience and his skill, just like that one out. And then he's like, I have to survive here. I have to get the Ling advantage. I have to counter, and I have to win right here. And he did it. And that's really the mark of an amazing player. So I don't know how he won that game, but he did. And I'm super impressed. And obviously, XiaoShuai probably got a little too overconfident there, and that happens in this game, but you also have to credit Sziky for being super duper persistent.
Yeah, absolutely. I think as XiaoShuai in that situation, you're looking at it, you are 100% in the lead. You are going to win this game as soon as you build those mutas, as long as you defend any sort of Lings. I mean, he just should have built one more sunken colony, man. It's not that expensive. It's not going to slow you down that much, but it will save your ass if you make that freaking sunken colony. Why did you not make that, man?
I mean, even like if you just pulled all your drones, you know, like to just make a wall of the suns. You know what I mean? Like, just do anything to deny the attack, even if it's like pretty detrimental to your economy, because you know, anything that gets you surviving with like even 5 or 6 drones at that point remaining, because Sziky had no tech. Sziky was also very poor as well. So it's not like a usual 12 pool situation where it's like the 12 pooler has a lot of drones behind, but Sziky lost a lot of drones as well. So again, it's just one of those things, right, where he's like, yeah, I won it, that's fine, just got to autopilot. But then, you know, Sziky found a way. So amazing job from both players at different stages, right? XiaoShuai did a great attack with the 9 pool, but Sziky just willing his way to a victory, man.
Yeah, for sure. And saving himself in this best of 3. Now it all comes down to this final game, guys. get hyped. This is a really great ZVZ.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder if mentally that kind of, makes XiaoShuai a little bit tilted, and maybe Ziky's on a roll there, right? Because after that kind of victory, man, you got to be feeling pretty good. So, all right, we do have the next map up. It's gonna be Monopoly. Interesting map, 3 players. This obviously has a ramp with those 2 eggs, so it's really hard to lane bust up here. But yeah, any thoughts on this map?
I really like this map as well. I know it doesn't really matter too much in ZVZ for the most part, but this is a really fun map. I like this one a lot. You have the new ramp, the new smaller reverse ramp that was added in remastered, if I'm not mistaken. There, I think that's when they added it, and it's pretty sweet. It's used to really great effect here. You've got the center island. The push distances are very short, and the counter attack distance is very, very long if you want to go all the way around that center. So that may end up playing a big role here in terms of the lings, whether they end up getting sent. There's only 2 directions that things can come from, so it's a little bit different than that butter match. How do you like this map?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be interesting because you kind of mentioned on Butter, there's so many different attack paths, right? And I guess in the context of ZVZ, you can kind of like sneak lings around to different ways and maybe do a little counterattack or backstab. We even saw XiaoShuai kind of move outside of the vision of the Overlord to kind of conceal the 9 pool, and sometimes you can actually do the same thing here, except I don't think you want to do that if you want to go all the way around, because it's such a detriment to your rush distance timing. It's kind of like on Eclipse where you take the longer route where you step outside of the Overlord's vision. But I don't think that's a factor here, but you might be able to see that counterattack later in the game because it's hard to be defending against those 2 kind of areas. But yeah, I don't have a whole lot of experience here with ZVZ on this map, but I think it's gonna, kind of lend itself to some nice mini games. But we'll see. We'll see if they want to play aggressive. But really, ultimately, comes down to the opening builds.
Yeah, one other thing to mention is the ramp is so small. It will be really nice for those Ling concaves. You might see that come into play here. It is very hard to break up one of those ramps, man.
Yeah. So, maybe that makes 9 pull speed a little bit more strong here or something, or any sort of 1-base play. All right. Looks like we are getting into the final game. Let's see if XiaoShuai could bring it back. All right, we have here in the top left the blue Zerg as XiaoShuai.
And in the center right, our red Zerg player, it is Sziky.
All right, looks like Sziky is going to have the advantage of scouting him first. So already that's going to be huge. So it's kind of interesting where, like, for some of those who'd like to play the BSL casino to predictions and stuff, you could sometimes they set like the prediction times like 5 minutes. They set it open for 5 minutes in ZVZ and they see who wins and then they vote. But but for a little hack, if there was kind of like a real time bar of like the percentages of who's winning the game, Ziky's win rate automatically goes up a little bit just because he gets the first scout. Now, I actually wonder here if this mining position is similar to that of the 12 o'clock Sylphid. I don't know if that really matters a lot, but it looks like we might actually be going for an overgas from XiaoShuai. And is that a 12 pool coming out of Sziky?
I wonder if is he going to take the expansion here? No, a 12 pool, you're right.
Yeah, so it looks like he's not feeling too comfortable with the 12 hatch, especially with the prevalence of the 9 pull around. But You know, this looks pretty good for Sziky to me. You know, it's been a while since I've played the good old Zerg, but Overgas is usually a counter to other 9-pull type play. Now, the worst case scenario for XiaoShuai, and I think we might actually see it, is if Sziky scouts the Overgas and then goes 12-pull layer rather than 12-pull speed. 12-pull layer is a hard counter to this build, but let's see what he opts to do.
Throwing down the natural, is it still a counter if you're building the natural as well?
Yeah, exactly. So I think he has to open speed first, but he can most certainly cancel the speed once the Overlord gets there, because there's 0 threats of lings, and so you don't actually need the speed, and you don't want it either. So he's gonna get it. He sees there's only 4 lings, so he might know exactly what's going on. If he sees that layer, is he gonna cancel it and go straight for a layer himself? Because that is going to checkmate XiaoShuai, but it looks like he might actually just keep the speed, and maybe he wants the pressure. That's also one way to play this. But basically, if you go for a super fast layer, your mutas will actually come out in time to stop his mutas without a spore colony, and it's super duper strong. So looks like in this case, we're gonna need spore colonies to defend against this, and Sziky might opt to just go lings here to destroy XiaoShuai.
All right, and XiaoShuai still hasn't got that scout off yet, so he has no idea what he's up against. He's going to see a bunch of lings crossing the map here. Still, probably no idea, except he knows that it's at least not a 9-pool. He's going to set up his wall in here, and he puts his second hatch in the main.
Yeah, and that's really for the production. Oh, looks like, do we have a hole in there that Sziky can bust through? So again, this is another way that he could win straight up, just with a ling bust right at the front. Speedlings versus none. And looks like we're taking too many free shots here. Can Sziky just come in here and win with speedlings? Oh my god.
Pretty good pullbacks there. He does keep all of his drones alive. He's waiting on just a few more lings to pop out, but Sziky actually not continuing to produce these lings, man. He's just going to switch over into drone production once again. He wants to get his own mutas out. Ooh, loses one drone there. Still no speed just yet for XiaoShuai, so he's having a hard time dealing with this one ling even.
Yeah, so I mean, the whole point of this build is really to just go for an immediate 6 muta and kind of go for a kill move right when you have, right when they pop out, or sometimes you actually just wait for 7 and then you go. But Sziky wasn't intending on going all in there. I think he was just trying to harass and see what damage he could find. And and he gets another ling with that single ling, and he's also going to be pressuring a little bit more here. I think he's already found the damage that he wanted to, and XiaoShuai does have mutas on the way, but Sziky also got mutas as well, so it's going to be hard. We don't even have any sunken colonies, and 2 lings slip by.
Oh man, another drone's going to go down here. Oh, that muta just pops out barely in time. Wait a second. What the heck happened there? That drone drifting over the hatchery saves itself on 2 HP. That was kind of crazy.
Yeah, so it looks like XiaoShuai moving out for the counterattack, but Sziky is coming out from behind, and you've got to turn around, otherwise this is going to checkmate you. So it looks like he has 1 muta there, but this might be
so
2 lings. Crazy. Yeah, I
all
don't
the
know.
drones going to go down. We've got spores back at home as well. 13 drones to 4, by the way.
Yeah, so look at XiaoShuai is going to get a couple of drones, but, you know, we do have mutas on the way for Sziky as well. So, oh, it looks like we got maybe 3. But once those mutas pop out, yeah, this might be game over.
Might be. He's got 1 drone left. 1 to 10.
Hey, you never know, man. I thought it was game over when Sziky lost it. Oh, and the Scourge Connect as well, so... You know, I don't want to call it. Because we called it. Okay, never mind. Thank you, XiaoShuai. Amazing games from Sziky, man. I think that Sziky, you know, the fact that he didn't go all in immediately with the lings there means, like, he knew that he wanted to pressure, right? And kind of cause XiaoShuai to crack a little bit, and he did. But it's a bad spot to actually be going all in there because you have that ramp advantage with the eggs. You can make a sunken colony behind. It's actually really hard. So that's why I personally favored going for canceling the speed into the layer. But that's because I'm not Sziky and I don't have his lane control. And all 3 games, I almost feel like Sziky out-microed XiaoShuai. And I think that's just a testament to how good Sziky is. His control is just so oppressive. And wow, such a good job. And Sziky advances into the winner's bracket round of 4.
Yeah, but let's give it up for XiaoShuai as well, man. He played some great games here of ZVZ. Got very far in this tournament. I'm really impressed with this guy. He goes out in the round of, what is this, the round of 12? Is that correct?
Yeah, well, he's still in. He's still in. Going down to the loser's bracket.
Going down to the loser's bracket, but he's put on a great performance. Can't wait to see him in the loser's bracket. Hopefully he makes a comeback. And we're going on to Zhanhun versus TerrOr.
I am so excited about this matchup, man. I think they're pretty evenly matched up. Zhanhun is just super strong, but let me tell you, man, TerrOr is looking real strong right now. I mean, he's always been strong, but he's, I talked to him, and we're in the same team as Nas. He's feeling really confident, and he's been practicing TVP against myself, Dragon, Sugo, NBA. And let's just say his win rate against all of us is looking like something like 90%. We make jokes about it, about him just absolutely demoralizing us, and he's looking very strong. And you kind of mentioned he likes aggressive 2-factory plays. I don't actually, he might go for a 2-factory. I don't think he will. He might opt to go for, kind of like a 3-tank push off of an expansion. He might go for a 4-factory type play into a 2-base push. He can do it all. He could play aggressive. He could play late game. He is the master of diversions, so he knows how to use his vultures to control the map and the game. And so let's see how well he can do. And it's going to be really good because Zhanhun's also super solid himself. So yeah. But before we do that, I'm getting super excited. But before we do that, we're going to get into a break. So we'll be back in a bit.
Okay, see you guys in a minute.
All right, what's up, everybody? We are back to BSL. If you are tuning in, you haven't seen the casting duo, I'm JU. Same SC is also with me here. We just saw an amazing series between XiaoShuai and Sziky, to which Sziky advances, and XiaoShuai with a heartbreaking loss in game number 2, or game number 1 actually. But yeah, now we've got Zhanhun and TerrOr, so that's the matchup that I was super excited for. You excited?
Hi, everybody. Yes, I am super excited. I can't wait to see this TVP. I have never watched Zhanhun before. I've seen quite a few TerrOr games, though. No, he's quite fun to watch. He's a very aggressive TerrOr player. And Zhanhun, I hear that he likes to drop. He likes the shuttle play, hey?
Yeah, I mean, man, that guy made like 5 speed shuttles against Gypsy on the game against Good Night a while back. But no, I mean, that is kind of on trend, right? So, like I said, it's always scary when you got a guy with monster mechanics that's also, up to date with the meta. And so, I've also seen him kind of cheese a little bit as well. So it could be a little bit dangerous. I remember TerrOr actually telling us in our practice games, like, hey, like, can you guys cheese me? Zhanhun likes to cheese. And I'm like, does he? Actually, I don't even know. I don't even know if that's true. But like I said, man, I've played TerrOr. I've played him a lot this past week, and he's looking very strong. Very, very strong. So I know Zhanhun's probably the favorite here, but I'm not going to say he's a very heavy favorite.
All right. Well, if he likes to play with 5 shuttles, man, that is a lot of stuff to control. He must have amazing mechanics, man. That is crazy, moving that much army. If you're moving a maxed out army and you're trying to control speed shells at the same time, that requires an insane level to control all of that. So I'm excited to see it. I want to see this go late. Get a 4th base, get a 5th base. That should be really, really fun to see. We've got our map pool here. I don't know, do we get to see the bans or the picks here before we start the game?
Okay, so looks like the first map is going to be Overwatch, if I heard correctly. Yeah, and I think the map pool, just kind of like you said, it's going to be a big deal here because, some of these maps are a little funky in that, like, for example, watching this, honestly, it's so hard for Terran. I'm going to guess that's Zhanhun's pick. But Overwatch also feels like a really strong, and that is, so this looks like we've got Overwatch in map 1. Honestly, this map is going to be I thought it'll be pretty hard for Terran. But you know what? Maybe I'm wrong because statistics are favoring Terran here. So you ever wait, am I reading that right? Yeah, no, never mind. Okay, no. It favors Protoss. Yeah, that's correct because I think that this is a really strong carrier map. And I actually haven't seen Zhanhun play carriers much, but maybe he will.
Yeah, that's a possibility. Yeah, this map is really tough to take that 3rd as Terran. Just like a lot of the maps, Eclipse and the like, your 3rd is just pretty darn far away. Of course, you can cover from the high ground, but yeah, any map where it's a long push distance to get your 3rd, it's going to be rough. Can you actually build in front of that ramp as well, or is that unbuildable terrain?
You mean the fat ramp, like the big one?
No, the small one just outside of your natural.
The ramp or the bridge?
Sorry, the bridge, yes.
Oh, no, you can't really. I don't think so, yeah.
Yeah,
but, yeah. All right, looks like we are getting into the game. All right, looks like we have the red, in the top left, we have TerrOr as the red Terran.
And down here in the bottom right, our blue Protoss player, it is Zhanhun.
All right, man. I'm going to guess that TerrOr might play open a little bit aggressively here. TerrOr is a master of killing your observers in going to a weird pathway to set up a push. Like, he knows that when Terran gets set up in the right position, they will trade very well. And the reason why I say that is, for example, there's that space right outside the bridge right there that you can't tank. You can actually swing around. Let's say, you know, Zhanhun wants to, you know, expand at the 6 o'clock. You can kind of wrap around with like a funny, you know, attack pattern all the way to the left side of the map to kind of set up a push there. But maybe we don't even get there because it is a 2-player map. It looks like Zhanhun wants to go for an early gas steal.
Yeah, the gas steal can be super annoying. He's very, very early here. The barracks hasn't even started yet, and he's already ready to take this gas. So taking control early in the game, Zhanhun just stealing that gas. He's going to take things into his own hands, and I think this is very, very popular right now, is gas steal directly into Nexus.
Yeah, it definitely is. I mean, there's so much content out there for gas steal type builds, especially on 2-player maps, especially on Eclipse. And it looks like, wow, that probe is already getting a lot of damage done. So that's going to be really bad, because if you deny that SCV from even mining, forcing another pull, this is really, really, really detrimental. So looks like Zhanhun is going to go straight into the Nexus there as well.
Yeah, that's great work by Zhanhun. Like, you've sent this probe all the way across the map super, super early, so the more you can do to harass these SCVs and keep them off the line, the more that probe's going to make, you know, make its money back, really.
Yeah, and so I like his position so far. Looks like we do see... TerrOr also with the counter gas steal. Very interesting here. So looks like it's going to be some time before he's able to make some goons himself. That actually buys him a little bit of time there. We do get the gas from TerrOr, and I guess he looks like he might want to take an early CC, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I'm a little confused about this gas steal. It's not something I see very often. Terran players stealing the Protoss gas, especially when he's already got Nexus first. You know he's just going to be producing Zealots here. Some Terran or some Zerg, excuse me, some Protoss players go through all the races, but they will just throw down a forge and build a couple of, or build one cannon. One cannon defeats so many Marines if they're going to try and counterattack you, if they're going to try and bunker rush you, pull SCVs. The cannon beats everything.
It sure does, but I'm looking at that mini-map and I see lots of red. What is this? What am I seeing here, Sam?
2 SCVs at the 6 o'clock. What is he doing right now? Is he going to build a factory or 2 factories down here and just go for a 2-fact push? This is crazy.
I guess. I mean, it has to be, right?
Yeah, it's gotta be. He's got that gas. He's got enough even. And I still don't see a factory starting. Okay, there we go. There's the first fact. Second fact is going to start here in just a second. He's hidden his build very well here. He's got the bunker. Or no, he doesn't even have a bunker. Okay, there we go. Finally going to start that bunker. He's built continuous Marines here now, halting production. He's going to get that second factory going. And yeah, he is going all in. You know, he knows he's in a bad spot. His opponent got the gas steal. He slowed him down a lot. He's got that quick nexus. He doesn't want to play a long game from a deficit, so he's just going to try and end it right now.
Yeah, so it looks like, can he deny the Zealot from actually seeing the command center? That is the biggest part. He really, really has to kite that away. It looks like the Zealots aren't going to go inside, and the SCV scout actually gets in there and sees that the range has not even started. We're going for a rangeless robo, so what a beautiful counter by TerrOr, because lots of Protoss players like to go rangeless here, and rangeless can be very strong because you get a super fast robo. It opens up for a quick shuttle reaver, super fast observer to scout what the Terran's doing. But with the 2-factory proxy, this is going to be super hard for him to stop. And we do have the eBay. He confirms that there's no DTs in play. And this is going to be very deadly because Zhanhun has no idea that this is coming.
Yeah, this is such a smart play by TerrOr. I love this. He's just going, whoa, Citadel afterwards, man.
Uh-oh, looks like the
going
probe
way
is... Yeah, but you know what? Even if Zhanhun scouts this, there's nothing that he can even do because you can't really change your play here except to maybe get like a shield battery. So, oh, actually, can't he just send the units there to stop this? I mean, we do have that ramp advantage.
Ramp advantage is going to make a difference. Also, the tank and Vulture has popped out, but he's on both sides here. He's killing off the Marines. The Dragoon comes up from the left-hand side. It's going to block as well. This is so clutch.
Oh my God.
Keeping this tank inside. He's going to surround it with the Zealots and kills it. Oh my goodness. This is craziness. I can't believe he actually got in there and stopped the rush already. There's going to be one Vulture popping out a tank on this side as well. That gets completely surrounded. The Marines are coming up to assist, but this tank dying is so frustrating. He even builds 2 pylons. What a gamer move. Holy crap. That was beautiful. Just surrounding these units as they're popping out. It's going to slow down the reinforcements so much as well. There's one more Vulture pops out. The Dragoon does go down, and he's microing back really efficiently here. No range, but still able to stop this attack. That is amazing.
Yeah, but you know, we're not out of the woods yet, just because, well, let's see, Zhanhun probably has a fair amount of, okay, the gateways are producing, okay, we're probably dead here, and we got the Templar Archive, so, man, that was some insane star sense for him to be, just even sensing that something was over here. I mean, the thing is, you can somehow get like a star core, but yeah, that tank's gone. DTs are going to be out, and what an unfortunate loss. I mean, Zhanhun with the star sense, I mean, you can really see his experience coming here. He's not, you know, not messing around at all. And so, man, I was looking forward to that 2-factor being successful, but he really scouted at the right time.
Yeah, it seemed like Zhanhun's build was so bad against what TerrOr was trying to do here, but he still makes it work by just getting in there on time, dealing with the attack before it even starts. Looks like he's going to come up here and possibly just kill this tank as well. Ooh, a great mine connection though. Does he actually get the tank? He does. That last tank goes down, and the wind is completely out of the sails here for TerrOr.
Yeah, I mean, there's zero chance because we don't even have any protection. I mean, our entire production's over there, and here comes the DT, and that's probably going to be the coffin.
Yeah, for sure. I wouldn't blame TerrOr for just tapping out right now. Even swipes down the mine as it pops out. That's super annoying. Not even going to be able to kill that off. Looks like another mine going to come down here. Can he actually get the connection? Looks like he does, but 2 more DTs show up, and these are just going to have to fly home, man. He has a command center on the way, but he is so far behind. Nexus is coming up, and why not for Zhanhun? He can just take, I think even double expand would be fine here, because there's not going to be any production from TerrOr for a very long time.
Yeah, I mean, respect him for, you know, fighting for his tournament life, but I mean, this is 53 probes to 29. I mean, I don't think Flash wins from here either. But hey, man, I thought Sziky died that one game, right? But I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't know what to think. So I guess we float the factories back and, you know, play it. But I mean, what we know about Zhanhun is also he's a macro monster. This guy does not skip a beat. His pro production, his gateways, and I think he's probably just going to end it real quick. It looks like we do have the shuttle out, so we might just go for a quick DT drop just to harass a little bit, but we'll see.
Yeah, there's not really any detection in the main either. I guess we're going to have some comsats coming up here pretty soon, but I don't see any mines in the main. I don't see any turrets in the main. There's a dropship, so maybe TerrOr can get his act together here, get some detection up there, keep himself alive for a little bit. But yeah, you already said it all. 36 to 57. Super hard to come back from, especially when you have to be building a bunch of turrets as well.
Yeah, I mean, I guess he might try for like one YOLO push or something, but I mean,
yeah, I don't know what you think about this, Jay, but when you're in this bad of a position, I almost feel like it's better to leave the game, because it's really demoralizing to fight against someone who's this far ahead. Like, everything you do is going to be it's just going to be so weak. Your Zhanhun's always going to have too much. He's going to get every single tech. And yeah, it can be great if you actually come back from this. You feel like $1,000,000, but you're almost definitely going to lose. So
Yeah.
I almost feel like tapping out is better just for your mental.
Yeah, well, I mean, dude, look at he's taking 6 in the bottom left. He's just kind of like, get out, Now, obviously, for TerrOr, like, I agree with you. Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I guess, like, from TerrOr's perspective, he doesn't quite see the map like we do, but I mean, he knows it's bad. But, if you could, like I said, he believes in the power of the units, right? So TerrOr isn't clowning. He's, I guess there's a universe where, like, there's one misstep. And the thing about Terran is that, like, you could walk goons into a field of mines and lose, like, 6, and all of a sudden it's over. You know what I mean? So, like, there is a 0.00001 chance that, he move commands into a line of tanks and stuff, and that's what he wants to do. He wants to go for that 0.0001% chance, and let's see if he gets the 0.000000001% chance here.
Well, he drops the DTs on top of everything, and they massacre these Marines. The Zealots and Dragoons alone should have been enough to finish this off, but he runs everything else down, and TerrOr taps out. GG is called, and Zhanhun wins game number 1.
Well, the 99.99999 prevails. But wow, great play from Zhanhun. Like, it's not like, in some ways, if you're like a TerrOr fan, you kind of view that and you're like, gee, unfortunate, right? Like, unfortunate that he got scouted. If he didn't get scouted, he would have won, right? And maybe that's true. But at the same time, elite level players like Zhanhun, like, he has the sense. He knows the holes in his builds. He knows what could sink him, and he scouted for it, right? Because I don't think he expected proxy factories, 2 factories to be there, because that's very uncommon. But what is common is that you can have a single proxy factory, right? So, for example, you could go and have a tank push at the front, and then a second factory with speed vultures slipping by in the back, right? You could also have a proxy starport over there, even though it's kind of unlikely given that it's so early into the game. But he knows it's worth just sending that single probe to scout, see whether if he's going to be there, and he found it. So that's just a sign of a really strong player.
Yeah, absolutely. And the moves that he made in order to shut that down were fantastic. He controlled really, really well. I feel like if TerrOr had brought more Marines, he would have been much better off. But he was kind of stuck between 2 options there, right? He wants to try and deny the scout of the missing command center, but he also wants to make that 2 factory work. So he was juggling 2 things. He ended up putting too many Marines back at home, and he gets bowled over at his proxy location. Close game there, but Zhanhun, he shows his quality, man. I'm looking forward to this next game. I wonder if TerrOr is tilted at all after that loss.
Yeah, I mean, he's probably a little bit sad, but at the same time, I think he's somebody who's so experienced that I don't think he's going to be too sad about that. And obviously, when you go for that kind of play, if it gets scouted and it gets stopped like that, then you just call it a day, right? Like, and that's kind of the risk in general. So, all right, looks like we are getting ready for game number 2. Okay, looks like it's going to be on Longinus. So, man, this is going to be tough because Longinus, this cannot be TerrOr's pick, and I actually thought Overwatch would be Zhanhun's pick. So I don't know what the order is here, but it's going to be pretty tough for TerrOr. But yeah, let's see what we can get done.
Maybe TerrOr just likes pain.
All right. In the middle right, we have the blue Protoss as Zhanhun.
And down in the bottom left here, we've got TerrOr, our red Terran player.
Yeah. So, man, like I said, it's hard to predict who picked what because TerrOr may have picked Overwatch for that specific cheese at the 6 o'clock that we just saw. To be fair, I think it would have had a high probability of succeeding if it didn't get scouted. And yeah, I just can't imagine TerrOr picking this one because in today's meta, right? A lot of Protoss love going Speed Shuttle Reaver. They love to get aggressive. They can actually hit this funny timing right at around 10:30. And depending on the build, they go to 6 gates or they go all in 8 gates. And you can really get up to like 140, 150 supply with Speed Shuttles to bust the Terran as they come out to take your third. And on this map, there is there's a world of opening for Protoss to just bum rush the Terran right as they get out. And so it's really hard for Terran to play a 3-base style here. So let's see what we're going to do. We see a wall coming out for TerrOr, which is obviously you have to do it because of Zealot opening map. And, Zhanhun looks like he might be playing for a gateway expansion. We don't have that gas quite yet.
Yeah, absolutely. There's like 180 degrees of attack that can be happening on this map at the third base, so it's very scary to take that third. Even though it's really, really close to your natural, it's going to be tough to hold that location. So if he does break TerrOr one time, just one time on that third base, it's going to be putting TerrOr into a world of hurt. It's so hard to come back after that sort of early loss. So TerrOr, he's going to have to push out very carefully, very deliberately, or he's going to have to go for just a massive attack.
Yeah, so let's see what we can do. I mean, it looks like Zhanhun's going to get the first scout. TerrOr, unfortunately, not the first scout. And we got that Nexus before the Zealot. And this is a really good build because it's not quite as greedy as the 12 Nexus, but it's still super strong. You can also still harass, like a rack extend type deal. And so I believe the rush distances are pretty long on this map as well. So let's see what the players opt to do. I can't imagine that we actually go for a rangeless open here into a robo like we saw last game. But yeah, I mean, I think TerrOr looks like he probably wants to go for a CC, given that he's only mining 1 gas. But if I were TerrOr, I'd probably play an aggressive two base build, like a 4 to 5, 6 factory type.
Right, just forego getting that third base, go for a big attack. Yeah, that makes sense. I think Zhanhun here is going to get range first. What do you think? I don't think he skips range here.
Yeah, probably not, because you only want to do that if it's going to be a Rax opener. I'm sorry.
Robo.
Yeah, I mean,
Quick
yeah,
robo.
yeah. Actually, I don't even know what I'm talking about right now. I'm just gonna but no, I don't think so. Just because you can't stop like potential pushes. Well, we do have a vulture coming in, so can we get that pylon block? Oh, it looks like we have. Oh my god, he's so prepared. Doesn't even lose a single worker from that.
Nicely done. Good pylon block there. Did cost a bit of money, but definitely worth it to keep the vulture out of the main. He's got the transfer going right now, and still no range. He is going to skip that and just go straight into robo. I'm so surprised.
Is he? Does he have the robo? No robo yet. Okay, well, yeah. I mean, I guess he might. Looks like he's got 200. Okay, rangeless. All right. No, I mean, I guess. Yeah, pretty ballsy actually. Just because if we're going FD push will be coming out like. Well, I guess like To be fair, if you open Vulture, it kind of reduces the odds that you go for a more aggressive push. So that's probably the read that he had, where if he saw the Vulture, he probably just goes Robo. But if he didn't see the Vulture, he probably goes range, because if you get that first tank out and then you start making a bunch of Marines, then an FD push can definitely kill a rangeless opener here. But it looks like TerrOr actually might still be going for a 3-tank push. I mean, he's banking up those tanks. Don't see the machine shop quite rolling yet, but could do some damage with the push here. It'll probably come out at about 6 minutes, but not sure. I mean, he's not making Marines, so I don't think he'll do it, but he could.
Right, yeah. You generally want to keep the Marine production going if you're going to go for that push. He's going to lose the Vulture. No. Oh, that Vulture. He really wants to keep that first Vulture alive so you can get those mines out on the map, but losing that is super painful.
Yeah, it's looking pretty tough. I mean, his SCB production's actually ahead. Interesting. That's yeah, there's no way he's actually going to go for a push here because he's going Academy and the eBay, and it's already way too late. So, interesting that, yeah, maybe he's worried about some sort of carrier thing. Usually you kind of go Armory or Academy. But the thing about this map is that look at the surface area at the main base for TerrOr. We've got so much space. And the really annoying thing about eBay Armory on this build, and I played a little bit of TVP on this map. If your opponent goes for a DT drop, typically you can use 3 turrets to defend on more standard maps, but on this kind of map you actually need 4 turrets and sometimes 5 to have coverage of the entire base. So it looks like we are going to get a Reaver. You can see even the Reaver can sneak by at the bottom right corner of TerrOr's base and start sniping some supply depots. That's just really annoying to deal with. And yeah, it looks like we are going to see a 5 factory push from TerrOr.
All right, going for the 5 factory push. This might work really well against what Zhanhun's doing. He does have the Robo out, and the Reaver is now in the shuttle, but he's trying to go, it looks like, for a carrier build follow-up here. 2-base carrier, and that might fall pretty quickly to this quick factory play. And this quick push here, 5 fact, is going to come out and attack way before those carriers are ready to fight, and it could be a quick win for TerrOr. All he needs to do is handle this first drop. The Reaver coming into the main base now.
Yeah, it looks like he is prepared, so it looks like he doesn't want to attack there. And man, those are carriers in the corner of his base, right? Because he also took a 3rd Nexus off of 2 gateways, and he has no idea because he went Shuttle Reaver first. I think this is looking really good for TerrOr.
Yeah, I think TerrOr's doing a good job of faking him out as well. Look, he's slowly pushing forward here. He's spreading out his tanks. He's hiding some of his vultures in the back. And it looks like he's trying to take a 3rd. It really does. So he's kind of baiting Zhanhun into thinking that's what's coming. And then this huge push with a ton of units is going to be following right behind this.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, sometimes in this situation, you actually just make scouts. Because, well, against 4 factor, I guess 5 factor would probably fit in some carriers. But I do see in the... let's see. All right, going to go for this push. I don't think it's going to work out for Zhanhun. I don't think he expects this many units here.
Oh man, that Reaver didn't even get a single shot off. These Dragoons get absolutely splattered. This is exactly what TerrOr was hoping for, was for Zhanhun to overextend, to run into this army, and now he's got the 5 factory push and there's almost no units back at home. He's trying desperately to pump out some gateways, throwing down additional. He knows what's coming now, but I think it's too late. Zhanhun, with the loss of the Reaver, now TerrOr can just rush forward. He doesn't have to worry about those Reavers hitting his units as he crosses the map. He's going to come right here towards the 3rd, going to get a bunch of probe kills and set up for the kill move.
Yeah, so you notice that he's actually swinging his army around outside of the vision of the observer. He might quite see it, but this is what TerrOr is so good at, because Zhanhun thinks he has a little bit more time, but he actually doesn't. The TerrOr is also sieging up right in front of his base, and so the thing here is, does Terror see the carriers, right? Because if he doesn't see, we might be able to hold, but I think this might be too much Terran either way. Even 2 carriers, it's kind of like a fly just kind of poking at you, but we do have 3 SCVs already, and man, 3 Nexus carriers off of 2 gateways is super duper greedy without even an observer scout.
Yeah, absolutely, and he's already building a bunch of turrets here, so making himself a little bit more safe against those carriers. I think that Zhanhun's going to lose here to his own greed.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be... I don't know. I don't see any Goliaths yet. I mean, he's got to be suspecting the Goliaths just because he's like, well, where's all your units? I don't think we even see Goliaths. So, I mean, I don't think Zhanhun's going to have, you know, enough firepower. Maybe. I mean, 2 carriers does do a lot. But at the same time, it's even hard to like bust down these, you know, turrets and such. But either way, we've already done so much economic damage as well by taking out that 3rd base. And if we can siege into the natural and deny some of the mining there, I don't think it's gonna matter.
Yeah, I love the bunker here as well. Just getting some more value out of those Marines and start to shoot down these interceptors. And he's so close now to taking down this natural. He's just pushing in here slowly, taking his time. The carrier interceptors are not coming out fast enough, and this natural is going to die, man. It is.
Yeah.
Going to fall. GG. There we go.
All right, Terror bringing it back. I mean, I really love that buy factory play on launch just because you do not want to be trying to take a 3rd base there, especially against somebody like Zhanhun. And so, man, felt like maybe he got a little bit overconfident, right? Maybe he's like, well, this should be an easy win versus you know, this Terran guy. But yeah, I felt like maybe that was a little bit uncharacteristic of Zhanhun. Maybe he decided to just be a little bit greedy. But yeah, I mean, yeah, 3 Nexus, 2 Stargate, 2 gateways against 5 factory. There's, unless you have amazing Reaver control, that is that's going to be dead.
Yeah, absolutely. And he kind of sacrificed his Reaver in there, just trying to slow down what he thought was a 3rd base. But that is not the way you want to use a Reaver in that situation. And yeah. I guess what we should be thinking about is Zhanhun's mentality must have been, well, he's going to take a really slow 3rd base here because it's so difficult. I have tons of time in order to get these carriers out. I'm just going to slow him down as much as possible and then grab the carriers right after. But Terror was not interested in that 3rd base whatsoever. Just went for the attack and it worked out great.
Yeah, really well played by Terror. He's really good at his unit control, really good at setting up. And so you can see, like, he was also very careful. He didn't overextend. He didn't panic when he saw the carriers. He was just like, okay, I see the carriers, let's make Goliaths, let's slowly push him, let's not just unsiege and go or do anything stupid. So his experience really coming in. And man, just like you said, that bait, making it look like he was trying to take an early 3rd base, really did a lot. So yeah, it looks like the 3rd map is ready. It's going to be on Monopoly. And I guess this is probably Terror's pick. I think this tends to be a little bit harder for Protoss, but I'm not really sure I have a ton of experience. Okay, looks like we are ready for the game. All right, we've got in the bottom left the blue Protoss as Zhanhun.
And in the center right, we've got Terror, the red Terran.
Yeah, so man, I think we might actually see another aggressive push, you know, because obviously there's not a whole lot of surface area for Protoss to set up, especially if Terror goes straight towards the opposing direction. But yeah, we'll see how Terror wants to play this.
Yeah, one good feature about this map, one interesting feature here is that there's only 2 real attack paths that one can take, which makes it pretty easy for Terran to control the map as you push out. there's only one direction that the opponent can fight back against you. And if they decide to go all the way around the map, it's a very long walking distance, and you have plenty of time to move and reset up your tanks, reset up your mines when you see that that is occurring. So as long as you have good information about where the Protoss is moving, it can be very, very strong. You can fight against huge Protoss armies just by moving your positioning around, just keeping track of where that army is. So I don't know. It feels like this map is really, really strong for carriers, but I haven't seen a lot of carrier play on this map. I don't know if that's in the mind for Zhanhun, but I think that with any map that has a center island is pretty darn good for carrier.
Yeah, I think you almost always, well, I don't want to say almost always, but I would guess that he would open Reaver, because if there is an aggressive push, Reavers are typically good for stopping an aggressive 4, 5, 6 factory push. Last game, obviously, he couldn't do that because he sacked the Reaver to the bait. But you can use the Reavers to slow down the push and then build up a big enough army to kind of stop the push. So I am almost certain there's going to be a Reaver opener. Now, from Reaver, you can go into carriers. Most certainly, we see Bonnet do that a fair amount. But yeah, I think Terror probably wants to play another aggressive game. I'm a little bit sad because I love seeing Terror's actual late game. A lot of times Terror does have like this kind of a reputation of being an aggressive Terran. He is, but he can grind out really strong, solid macro games in the late game, and his map control is just insane. So looks like Zhanhun is just going to be opening range. A little bit more of a standard opener, I'd say. Probably a 23 Nexus if I had to guess.
Okay, yeah, well, don't be sad yet. It could still be a long game. We're just getting started here. We've got the factory coming down. I feel like this map it's possible to go late here, for sure. Terror, he can do just an aggressive push. There is a nice one-way road here. It's very tight to go directly towards the Protoss natural, but you don't have to do that. You can just hold off, get your third base, get your fourth. There's some nice expansions that have good tight ramps on them that are easy to hold off Protoss armies from the high ground, and you can go for a long game here. It's just a little bit tough if your opponent gets into carriers and snags the center. Can get a little bit out of control.
Yeah, I mean, my dream might come true, right? Because it looks like we are going to be opening. Oh, we don't want to lose that Marine though. We are opening into a siege expand, and this can be a little bit tricky for Zhanhun because he doesn't quite know what's happening, right? Because he doesn't quite see that command center. He's pretty sure it is, but at the same time, you know, oh, is he going to lose that SCP? Okay, good. Pulls it back at the right time. This kind of reminds me of like the old school Protoss PvT where, you know, goons would be punching down to the depot against the wall. It kind of gives me some old school vibes there. But the tank does come out. He's going to be opening siege. He has to be opening siege. And Zhanhun also taking an expansion himself. So really standard openers from both players.
Yeah, it's been more and more popular actually for Terran players to go Vulture expand in the Korean meta. Has that kind of fallen over into the foreign meta as well yet?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think that's the advantage of this is that Zhanhun doesn't yet know that it's an expansion, right? So that you can also see in the response that Zhanhun also made a second gateway before the road. That's actually not quite ideal because now the timing is going to be a little bit later, and this could also be a one-base starport, right? And he still doesn't know. But once you see the siege, okay, now he knows, because he knows that there's siege mode, which means that it cannot be any sort of vultures, it cannot be a push. And so now Zhanhun is going to say, okay, I'm going to move on with my build, probably take it through third base now, because you do have to respect that there could be a drop. And you see Zhanhun also making that pylon at the 6 o'clock. You see his probe kind of looking around the bases at the top left and just making sure he's not getting jebaited anywhere. But Terror in a great spot. He has 2 worker lead, and typically as Protoss, you don't want to let the Terran player have a worker lead on you. Usually you can offset that by having more nexuses, you know, but it looks like Terra is in a really good spot to macro.
Yeah, for sure. I think we might get that long game you're talking about. We'll just have to see if Terra throws down a starport or not. Get that armory as well. So far, we haven't seen either, but he's still working on getting his detection out. He's going again for Academy and Engineering Bay. Interesting.
Yeah, maybe, I'm thinking here he might be going for another 5-factory push, because that's what he did last time. Typically, if he wants the Academy as well, it's for detection against any sort of DTs. But if you're just going for, let's say, a 3-base type build, you don't really need the Comsat station. So one interesting kind of breakthrough in the meta, in the Terran side, is that the Comsat station is actually very damaging to your economy. Because for the Comsat station to be building, that's actually 4 SCVs that get cut. And so the meta kind of, not always, but you know, maybe half the builds oftentimes shift towards getting eBay armory without the Comsats, so you can focus on non-stop SCV production, and you go 3-base. And yeah, it looks like we do see the 5-factory aggression from Terror, because he needs the Comsat for his push, but if he were 3-basing, he wouldn't need the Comsat.
Oh,
wait
man,
a minute. What is that? What is that? That looks like a J unit
armor.
Yeah, you know, I mean, I don't know if you know, I upgraded Overlord Vision in a ZVZ, in a cutthroat ZVZ against Crossy, and you know, I forgot to build Goon Range, and I'm the master of making the wrong upgrades, but that, I don't know what that is. I've never even seen that symbol in my life. That's like an armor symbol. Dude. That's like one of those things. That's like getting scout range or something. So he must have accidentally pressed that. I hope that was not in place of the range. I don't think it was because of the timing here. Or maybe he was actually trying to fake it, like showing that.
Right,
You know
if
what
we
I
did
mean?
a scan in the main.
Right.
Yeah. That's a possibility.
But I mean, he would, either way, he would have canceled it, right? So it is 100-100 down the drain for sure, but that's not going to be ideal, especially against this kind of push, because remember, Zhanhun went, did he even see what's going on? Okay, it looks like he does see what's going on with the observer out there, and we're going to get some legs and lots of gateways. Okay, so it looks like it's fine, but Terror also might be concealing his build here again. And he's got the vultures wrapping around, and he's already cutting SCVs right at 38. So let's see if he can get some damage done.
Yeah, he is pretending again to take a 3rd base here, going for a big old push. Let's see if he can make it happen twice in a row. If Zhanhun's going to be ready. Does he actually have that range? I'm so nervous for him if he doesn't have that range.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Zhanhun will be prepared this time. He has 8 gateways already, so it's going to be a little bit tough. But this is a push. You don't have a lot of flanking area. Terror's going to come out, and he's going to be doing this. See it? Oh, Zhanhun coming in for the big attack here.
Siege up a little bit late. The Zealots are diving straight on forward on top of these tanks. Can he actually hold this? Man, these Zealots are right on top. The speed was perfectly timed. And we do have a bunch of vultures flying in, but too many Zealots, man. He just runs this over, and this tank count has been completely reset. Oh, man, Terror going to be hurting from that one. He does have a lot of vultures left over. He can't actually win this fight. Can he get some damage with these afterwards? He really needs to get something done here.
Yeah, but you know what? This is kind of deceptive. The push looks like it got stopped, and it did. But you know, one of the hard things is that if you lose all of your goons, it's really, really tricky, because you have to remake those goons. Okay, it looks like he is going to remake those goons, and that's kind of a sign of a good player, because sometimes you get so focused on making only zealots that these vultures can really run you over. And even if the push was stopped, looks like these vultures are getting some damage done, and I think Terror might still have some outs to continue to push in. So he's going to continue to... Oh, and he got the tank shot and the mines in there. Can he stop this?
Where is the observer? I think that Zhanhun may have lost control of his observer. There it is, finally coming in to help him clean out these mines. He's still got pretty good mining here at the natural, but he needs to push this away before more tanks arrive. The second tank shows up, and the observer gonna go down. That's really, really painful. Another round of Zealots pops out here and run forward. Try to clear this out. The third tank arrives. He's gonna try and drag the mines. He doesn't quite get it, but he jumps right on top of these tanks. Starts to pick them off. If he gets these remaining tanks, he should be able to hold on. It's really, really close, though. Nice mine drag. Does push back those vultures. Only 2 tanks remain. A few more Zealots pop out. I think he's got this hold.
Yeah, I think so too. Oh man, it all comes down to the target firing, but it looks like we might have a little bit too much Protoss, but you never know, because like I said, you have to be very careful, because TerrOr is a very, very persistent Terran, and like, again, it really comes down to the composition, right? Because if you overmake Zealots, they might all die to a bunch of mines, and so TerrOr is continuing to push. Oh, looks like he has 1 rally point that is a little bit off there. And
oh, that's so painful.
yeah, and the thing is, TerrOr's actually going to take a 3rd base maybe behind this, and it could get a little bit dicey, because sometimes you think the Terror is all in, and it looks like he is going to, you know, expand behind it, and he's going to hold this push, and so it gets kind of tricky. It actually gets very, very tricky, because Protoss is so focused. Oh my god, that Arbiter is just kind of blocking things. Looks like he's kind of panicking, but yeah, it looks like we're going to pump up the gateway counts, but this position is really hard to break for Zhanhun.
Yeah, it is very tough. You can see this map, the way it's structured. There's just one push direction here, and he's actually spotting these units heading around. So he's going to start this attack immediately as soon as you see those units move. It's such a long distance to walk all the way around here. There's going to be a moment where Zhanhun just doesn't have anything in his natural to defend. So TerrOr going to slowly push up. He's not actually moving as quickly as I thought he would, but he's moving these buildings into position. He can actually hit stuff on high ground as it comes around. Here's the counterattack coming towards TerrOr's natural. Does he have enough? But a few mines are present. Some vultures are here as well. Zhanhun just slowly pushing up. Does he actually go for this? He will try to run forward. No, backing away. Bit of indecision here by Zhanhun. Is that going to cost him?
Yeah, I mean, this is, you know, I've played against TerrOr in this situation, and notice, look at the worker counts. The really tricky thing about playing in somebody like TerrOr is that he cut at 38, which is 3 short from 2 base saturation there, but he started making more workers, and he started making a 3rd base, and he started making his armory to give him some outs to play in the late game. From Zhanhun's perspective, he thinks that this is all in, so I must hold, so therefore what? He's not making any probes. Zhanhun needs to get to 55, 65 on 4 bases, but he's so focused on holding, right? He even added like 10, 11, 12 gateways because he thinks this is all in, but this is far from all in. Actually, TerrOr is ahead in terms of the worker supply, almost even on base count if he saturates that. So as long as TerrOr can actually not die, oh, and the Arbiter's getting cut! Oh,
Okay, he does fall back. Where is the army of Zhanhun going? He's heading around the map, but the push is right here. All of the vultures going to run right into this natural, start to pick off all the probes. I think a big mistake here from Zhanhun, just leaving his natural wide open. They're going to take full advantage. The Zealots that are popping out just can't do anything, but the counterattack towards the natural, is there anything to hold here? It doesn't look like it. Only 1 tank on high ground. Can he make this a base trade? Oh, he just flies the shuttle directly in and dies. That's unfortunate, but so many Zealots pouring in here. This is going to be a crazy base trade situation. Tons of SCVs just chilling on the ramp, making it really difficult to get up here and kill this tank. But eventually, Zhanhun going to get in here to the main. Can he stop the production?
Yeah, I mean, I think this was really late from TerrOr, and I think Zhanhun may have done it because now we're sitting right on top of production. I don't know what happened. Maybe he just didn't see it. And also the vultures at the natural, the cloaking of the Arbiter, you know, denied them from doing anything. I think, unfortunately, TerrOr just didn't get back in position. So if he just brought a few more tanks back, retreated his army, he could have probably held this push. But great play with this counterattack from Zhanhun. I mean, I'm so impressed that he was actually able to get back in the situation.
I really liked it. my what I said from the beginning of this match has finally come to fruition here. The vision of the army of the Protoss was not kept by TerrOr. He didn't know that this army was moving all the way around. I guess he must have known once he started flying in there with the vultures, but he didn't move his tanks back to his natural to defend. Zhanhun went all the way around the map. It is such a long distance, guys. I cannot say enough how far this actually is to go all the way up and around and get back towards the Terran's main for that counterattack. TerrOr had plenty of time to move his army, but he just didn't react. And Zhanhun gets in the main and just crushes him. Man, that was really one-sided once the counterattack came in. Crazy.
Yeah, it's rough, and that's the GG. Ah, what a heartbreaking loss. I mean, I think TerrOr, honestly, it seemed like from the initial fight that Zhanhun won it, but like I said, if you don't have that goon count up, you can't really trade effectively against those vultures. And TerrOr also swung the game kind of back in his favor by holding that position, having mines, turrets, blocking the first counter, and he started making SCVs with upgrades behind it. So you know, when Protoss is on 10, 11, 12 gateways on 3 bases, you're basically all in. So the only outs that he had was actually wrapping around and doing that counterattack. And so, you know, TerrOr probably kicking himself a little bit like, man, why didn't I have some scouting, or why didn't I have some more mines over there? Because I think that if you just kind of swing a little bit back to defend, he probably holds there if he just unsieges some of the tanks, but he was so late. And also, he didn't even kill the probes at the natural of Zhanhun because, you know, he had cloaked arbiters there, so cloaked probes there from the arbiter. But well played from Zhanhun, and man, Zhanhun against Sziky, that's going to be an amazing matchup.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, man. Yeah, so many what ifs in that game. But TerrOr just making a few small errors. I definitely want to see him against Hawk as well. That should be a great matchup. XiaoShuai versus Quark too. That is going to be fun to watch. Guys, there's so many good matches coming up here. We've got coming up for you though, Zhanhun versus Sziky, a Protoss versus Zerg. So
Yeah.
should be really fun to watch.
For sure, but before we do that, looks like we are going to go into a break, and make sure you guys hang tight because we're going to see a monster PvZ after. right, welcome back everybody to BSL. Already had some amazing games today, and ahead of us we have Zhanhun versus Sziky. Man, what do you think about this one?
Guys, I'm really excited to see this Protoss versus Zerg, and I'm really stoked to get all the maps played this series. We've got 5 maps, a lot of new maps here, a lot of ASL maps as well. There's going to be a ton of different play. What is our first map of the day?
I believe it is Vermeer, and if I also remember correctly, I think the map bans were Longinus and Gladiator. I'm pretty sure Sziky banned Longinus, and I'm pretty sure Zhanhun banned Gladiators, because those are just difficult maps for each respective matchup. So yeah, I mean, I'm so excited because these maps are going to be so fun, especially with a PvZ, which is my favorite matchup. And man, this is going to be really, I don't know who's going to win. I think last set, I really liked TerrOr as my teammate. Maybe Zhanhun was a little bit favored there, and he made all the right decisions to pull out the victory. But you know, Sziky, man, this guy's been taking games off. You know, Bonnet, his ZVP is monstrous. I've played him as well. He's just so oppressive with his control, his macro, his micro, and everything. So I don't know which way this is gonna go. Any thoughts here?
I'm gonna put my money on Zhanhun. He's been looking really good. I think that matchup versus TerrOr showed his class really strongly. He is aware, very aware of what is going on the map. He's scouting for all the things that he needs to scout for. He's making the right decisions, and decision making and scouting. What else do you need, man? Good, strong macro. Everything's looking great for him.
Yeah, and I'm excited to see it. So it looks like we are going to get into game number 1 with Vermeer. All right, we've got wait. All right, it looks like the view's a little bit messed up. We see a Zerg. I see a Zerg. There you go. Okay, in the top left we have the red Zerg as Sziky.
And down here in the bottom left, we've got Zhanhun. He is the blue Protoss player, guys. Just a shout out to all of the Chinese fans. 欢迎来 BSL15， 谢谢你们看到了。Thank you very much for watching. It's great to have Chinese fans here as well. Really excited that they've finally been included into the BSL. What was holding everyone back before? Do you know?
Yeah, just latency and typically, like they kind of are a little bit more insulated as well. Just kind of like obviously language barrier and stuff like that. So it's just kind of like there's always been issues in the past, but yeah, trying to bring them all together and obviously seen some amazing games from the Chinese players.
Yeah, that's awesome. I lived in China for 2 years, and I know the latency can be very, very bad. Really hard time getting on some of Western websites. You gotta have VPN and all that stuff. So I'm glad that that's been worked out now. I hope that we get many more years of Chinese players coming in and doing well here in the BSL. That's very exciting.
Yeah, and looks like this game is actually live, and we do have a gateway expand from Zhanhun, and he got the first scout and doing some good probe harass. But looks like that looks like a 9-pull to me. I wasn't watching very carefully, but looks like Sziky is going to be going for a 9-pull and trying to gain the upper hand with the superior micro. Well, I don't want to say superior because Zhanhun is amazing, but he's got amazing micro. So love the response from Zhanhun to get the forge. Typically against a single a 9-pull, you want to scout to see if it's 6 lings or 8 lings. Typically, it's probably just going to be 6 for a harass. And the most important thing for Zhanhun here is actually to be making zealots nonstop. You absolutely prioritize the zealots over everything else in your entire build. And the reason for that is that you want to be able to push out when you get to critical mass with your zealots once your cannon is down, and it makes it really hard for Zerg to stay on top of their economy.
Yeah, for sure. We're still waiting on that first cannon. It looks like he's going to throw down Nexus before cannon here, and that third hatchery has started. I'm surprised Sziky doesn't want to kind of harass here. Okay, he is diving forward now to maybe hit that gateway a little bit, but he's got a little time here with only 2 zealots out. It's hard to stop damage going down on that gateway, and if you keep damaging that and the zealots keep coming out, you might be able to slip a ling or 2 by.
Yeah, it's going to be tough, and I think that... Oh, and that's the Sziky micro we've been waiting for. Got a huge surround. Can we take that out? Oh, and 1 goes down, and 2 lings slip by. I don't know how that happens. Oh, it does it, though. Okay, only 1, so it's not going to be that big of a deal. And wow, I mean, Zhanhun's an amazing player, but Sziky always looks for those opportunities, and that single ling is going to stay there forever, man. So really well played. I like the way Zhanhun's playing it as well, because he has a full scout off, and so he didn't really need the cannon, but now he's going to make it because he wants to tax Ziky's multitask. And that's one way you get rid of the lings. Instead of just chasing it around, you actually just send your zealots out to make the multitask a little bit harder. So we do have 6 lings already in place for Sziky. He's moving up to the lair. Zhanhun, I think, was a little bit favored from his opener just because he went gate against 9-pull and didn't take much damage. But Sziky equalizing it a little bit with that ling kind of coming in there and denying some mining.
Zhanhun with some good decision making here. He sent the zealots across the map, which is definitely the right choice, but he also sent a probe, making sure that he can get the scout off here, see how many lings were produced. He saw the right number of lings has been produced, so he just sends his zealots back home, going to keep those alive. That's great decision making, great play on both sides. Actually, Sziky may be overproducing lings here. He's sending out, how many lings is that?
I don't know. Probably like 10 or something like that. So, it's the right amount of lings. He didn't overmake them, so it's pretty much okay. And that ling is still alive. And man, Sziky's FP bot is just insane. So, looks like we're probably just gonna go straight into the mid game. I think they're both about even. Like I said, I think the quote unquote failed 9-pull made it a little bit rough for Sziky, but getting in there and denying some mining was good, but it looks like that Ling's gonna fall.
Threatening the run by here. Sziky doesn't have speed or anything, so it would be tough to take down that cannon. But it's forcing Zhanhun to just stay in his wall here. He can't move out or anything just yet with just a single cannon. If speed finishes up, you just run by, kill that cannon, then makes things really complicated. More Lings are popping here, actually. Is Sziky gonna try and do something with the Ling run by, or does he just wait for these zealots to come out?
Yeah, I think he's probably gonna try for a run by. So this is one of the ways that high level Zergs actually keep Protoss at bay, is that they actually, because if you don't build a second cannon, the Ling run by can actually almost end you, because you can take out the pylon and just flood Lings in, and you can't stop anything. But usually good Protoss players are aware that good Zerg players do that, so therefore they actually build a second cannon, or they will block the entrance with 2 probes. So you don't want to leave that opening right open. But it looks like, I don't know if Zhanhun's actually going to move out here. So sometimes they'll move out with 5 zealots, and if he was going to do that, that would have already came out. But it looks like we're going to get at least, oh, he might be moving out, but the Lings are not kind of in position there, so unfortunately, if he had them split like 6 and 8 or something, then maybe he could bait them out. But I think that's too many Lings for Zhanhun. He's probably just gonna wait for Citadel.
Scourge making a beeline across the map. They're gonna try to cut off these Corsairs. Unfortunately, he loses track of them. Just gonna hang out here in the middle of the map until it's safe, and then head back home. I think 2 or even 3 Overlords ended up going down there. I don't know if we have a kill count on those Corsairs, but yeah, quite a few Overlords go down. I think he got supply blocked as well, so he wasn't able to produce Scourge for a little bit. That's rough. Not going Sziky's way at all there, but now he's got his macro really rolling here. He's going to be popping out Hydras. A ton of Zealots are coming across the map, though. Can he actually hold on here?
Yeah, that's going to be rough, because you don't want to be making sunken colonies unless you're opening mutas here. So he's going to block it. Perfect timing on the sunkens, and I like the decision on the sunkens, even though it's not ideal for Zerg to be making those. It's good. And oh, looks like the Zealots are going to, okay, looks like they're going to back up. Sometimes the Zealots could die, but you also don't want to risk it, because if you lose these Zealots, you're in a lot of trouble. But it looks like we do have some mutas in play, so hopefully we can get some map control with these units, but we already have 5, I think +1 Sears on the way as well.
Yeah, it's all going to come down to the Scourge hits if he does engage with this army. Gotta take out those Scourge first, but the mutas will automatically be targeted by the Corsairs, so it is really rough. He's just going to let this pass for now. Loses a lot of pressure here, though, losing that many Zealots early on without dealing any damage.
Yeah, and it looks like we are going to drone, which is pretty standard. You open the 5 muta, force a little bit of panic from the Protoss, and then you start to re-drone. Typically, you want to get to at least 45 drones on 3-way saturation. If you can hit 50, that's great. 55, that would be amazing, but that's probably unlikely right now. But Zhanhun, yeah, typically this will shut down the Zealot pressure. Looks like he is going to go Archon, so sometimes Protoss could go Archon follow-up, or they could just opt to wait for a critical mass of Corsairs. Bear in mind that Protoss is very gas limited in this matchup. So for every Archon you make, that's 2 High Templars less. Not to mention that he's already making a lot of Corsairs, so with that many Corsairs, he's not going to have that much gas for the goons. So therefore, what we need to have a lot of... oh, looks like we're going in for the bust here, but I don't know if this is going to quite work. Ooh, the Corsairs get lots of shots off. Oh my god, only 1 connect. That's going to be devastating for Sziky.
Meanwhile, a big attack coming up here towards the 3rd base. No Templar here with this army, though, just 1 Archon. So all of these clumped units sitting around the drones are going to be well defended here. Not much chance of breaking through that defense. Sziky at least safe back at home. But how many Overlords can you kill with these Corsairs as the attack comes in? I think that's going to be the real question here. If he engages with this army... Oh my god, just flies right in. That's not what you want to do.
Yeah. So I mean, even if the push with the Archon doesn't necessarily do damage, you actually deal damage by denying the 4th base. Because if he didn't have an Archon and stayed on High Templar, then he could probably go ahead and take a 4th base just okay. But notice that he doesn't have any High Templar, at least, or maybe he does. There's one. I don't know if he's got a. Oh, never mind. He's got more. Okay. I was really worried because if he didn't have High Templar, a counter Hydra all-in could end the game here, but man, he's just going up. His production's just rolling, and let's see if Sziky can make something work.
Yeah, Zyky's got all of his production going here. He's got that 4th base ready to be thrown down. Oh, nice snipe on the Templar. Gets 1 Templar for just a couple of lings. That is a sweet deal.
Yeah, and looks like this is where Sziky really shines. His micro, he can probably control 3 groups of Hydras and Lings, sniping High Templar left and right. I love that Sziky didn't take a super fast 4th. We're taking it over at like 11:15, which is honestly the correct timing, because if you take it too early, then you give too much value to the Protoss here. So looks like the Zealots move a little bit too far forward, bleed a couple of them off, but we have a huge Zealot High Templar push, and if we don't have Lurkers in play, this might be game. Oh, it looks like he's gonna back up.
Okay,
oh, and the Corsairs
getting shredded here. That is rough. Did he just target down one of his own Hydras? The Hydra died there for... I have no idea. I have no idea why.
Man, I actually think that if he moved forward, he probably could have won there, or at least done critical damage. And I think he was a little scared because he saw a lot of Hydras. And sometimes the Protoss player, you just get scared, and I don't blame him for moving back. But the Lurkers were not up, and looks like he's going to play it safe. Going to take the 3rd base and play on.
Yeah, a pretty big upgrade advantage here for Zhanhun as well. He's already +1/+1, no +1 done for Sziky yet, so maybe a bit of an anti-timing as he's moving forward here, but he is getting into double evolution chamber. He's possibly going up to a hive as well. That 4th base not very well defended, but he's got a few units over in that location. Hasn't drawn that up just yet, but he's adding on a lot of Lurkers. We're going into a late game, boys.
Yeah, so one of the things that I noticed about Sziky is that he loves to play forward. So he might not always attack, but he loves to be a little bit forward just so that he could, catch any Zealots running forward, and he likes to micro his way, in stances that... Oh, looks like he's going for a counterattack here. Oh, but he's got to back up. So,
and all these Lurkers are so stacked. Gotta back off here.
Yeah, but it looks like Zhanhun is in position, and... Oh, great storm!
The storms are huge. So rough there. Yeah, that's going to be rough. I mean, we do burn 3 storms, but that's not what we want here in terms of dodging. But you see how he kind of controls the position of the army with a much smaller army, right? It makes Zhanhun think twice before kind of just A-moving in there. So I love that he's also being very patient himself. We do get a Templar snipe, but at what cost? We lost all of those Hydras. Can we hold the counter push? Now, we did burn maybe 4 storms or so, so I don't know if Zhanhun actually can continue to push. We got 2 more storms left. I think Sziky might be okay. Yeah, Lurkers here in high enough number. He will push Zhanhun back, but Zhanhun is going up to a 4th base here. He hasn't taken that regular 3rd. He's just building all along the bottom of the map, getting into a ton of econ. Nice snipe there on the Templar. Just a lone Templar hanging out. Going for a little walk there. Does get picked off. These Lurkers are a bit out of position, though. He's moving them quickly to the side. No observer here on the left-hand side. He does move it over, but a great spread of Hydra, and it's just Hydras versus Dragoons on this left side. Dragoon and Lurker, so not the best trade for Zhanhun. He's trying to move some of these Templars into position, kind of storms his own units here, and I think Sziky taking the better of this trade so far. More Hydras coming up from the left-hand side, and Zhanhun will be pushed back towards that right. Maybe gonna switch attention towards that 4th base. Sziky really getting the better of that trade, I feel.
Oh yes, I mean he for sure. This is what he's really good at, right? Like he knows where to position his army, and see like sometimes as Protoss, you kind of a move into certain areas, and his army got split up there, right? He tries to go over to the right side, but half of his army got caught to the left. He thought he had enough of an angle to fight, but Sziky definitely got the better end of the trade there. I think that since he's going for a quick 4-base, and Vermeer, you do get gases on every single one of your bases. I would say Zhanhun's play should be to not attack and just kind of roam the map with map control, try to cut off expansions, try to deny Sziky from getting 5 bases. But it looks like Sziky is going to go for that 4th base unless he sees it. Oh, I don't know.
Zhanhun is moving.
Yeah, but I don't know if we want to be planting here because this is going to be a lot of production loss once those High Templar come in here, because those cannons have very, very high DPS, so this is a failed counterattack from Sziky, unfortunately.
Yeah, absolutely. Zhanhun doing the right thing too, sending Zealots up to the top right, making sure that no additional bases go down during this. And we're sitting here 4-base versus 4-base, never where you want to be as the Zerg player, though he does have Hive now. He can start to get his Defilers out. He's going to have Mass Ling and Lurker soon. So getting into the latest stages of ZVP, excuse me. Can he get a 5th base up? It's so important. Or knock down this 4th. I guess that would also work.
Yeah, so we got a 2-pronged attack here. So, I mean, he is forcing attacks. He's going to clean this up. But look at the outside of the natural for Zhanhun. Are we getting some trades? Okay, no, we're not. So, I don't know if we maybe got some High Templar stacks, but we're bleeding a lot of units. And this is what Sziky likes to do. He just keeps attacking and attacking and attacking. And sometimes you pull the Protoss up. Sometimes they run out of Storm. And sometimes you just mass and destroy them. So, we did see the upgrades come out. It looks like it was 2-1 for Zhanhun. And one of the tricky things is that the meta tends to favor getting armor to counter big Hydra play. But if you go Hive and Zerg starts to get Carapace, all of a sudden things start to get a little bit tricky. So we'll keep an eye out on when the Carapace hits +2, because that'll make those cracklings very, very strong.
We've got +2/+2 now on Zhanhun's army. He's getting really strong. Now Sziky making the move to take upper right, but there's not enough lurkers here. And he doesn't have his rally set to this location, so I think Zhanhun can still crack this. Even if Sziky tries to set up on high ground, he's taking that base on low ground, actually. I don't think he can hold. But, oh, wait a second. Zhanhun actually going north. He's not going to try and shut down that base. There's nothing here except for one sunken colony and one lurker. That is rough.
Yeah,
flanking army from the right-hand side. Sziky bringing the rest of his units out. Actually, not just yet. He's still at his rally points over there on the left-hand side. Can he actually crush this army as it takes out the 4th? It is a possibility, but there's so many storms. You're just blanketing them down as the army runs in. Great storms on those bottom lings. Everything gets crushed. Oh, GG. Sziky taps out.
Yeah. That's unfortunate. You know, I think that, you know, sometimes you just don't see where the Protoss army is, and Protoss was able to kind of sneak right through, and Zhanhun, he obviously very skilled because he's always keeping his High Templar count very high, right? Because sometimes some Protoss will just like overextend an attack there and not really check to see how many storms they have remaining, but he was fully loaded, and so went in there, found the one crack in Sziky's armor and was able to crack it. But man, you know, Sziky also looking very strong, right? I think he was playing from a little bit of a deficit early, didn't get much done with the 9 pull, got a lot of the Corsairs, his Overlords popped, and so he kind of had to play from a hard spot, but he really brought it back, so you really see how strong Sziky is. So Zhanhun looking solid, probably the favorite here, but man, I'm still looking forward to a long series.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Sziky making a bit of a mistake trying to counterattack into that 4th base as the army was showing up. That lost him a lot of lurkers that could have helped to secure upper right, maybe get a 5th and 6th base. Could have been a very different game, a much longer game, but Zhanhun just holds that off nicely. He holds off the natural attack as well and just takes a big lead. That was a great game.
Yeah, definitely a solid game. You know, they're both playing very good, but very solid as well. So it's going to be a best of 5, guys. Not just the best of 3 like we've seen in the earlier rounds. So yeah, let's see if Sziky can tie it up. What do you remember what the second map was?
All right, Overwatch.
Yeah. And this was probably Zhanhun's pick, that's my guess, because Vermeer tends to skew a little bit in favor of Zerg, and Overwatch skews a little bit in favor of Protoss. And yeah, beautiful map, honestly. It kind of lends itself to so many different attack paths, especially if you open Zealot Corsair. The Zealots have so many areas to run around. Overlords can get caught by, you know, Corsairs and whatnot. So really looking forward to this kind of this game here.
It'll be a fun one, guys. Let's get into game number 2. Are we ready?
Yeah, let's do it. All right, in the top left, we have the red Protoss as Zhanhun.
And in the bottom right, our blue Zerg player, it is Sziky.
Yeah, so last game we saw Gate Expand versus Ninepole. In my opinion, I think Gate Expand is not so great here, just because if you look at the right side of Zyky's mineral line, you can't really stick a Zealot there where it gets a lot of value. Now, that doesn't mean that Gate Expand is not good. You can always play a defensive 1 gate, and that's totally fine. But yeah, I don't know. I've actually not seen a lot of pro games on this, but let's see what he opts to do. I'm gonna guess he opens Forge. And also, the other thing is that it's hard to wall off from Gate Expand. You see that? Yeah. There's no way he opens Gate Expand. I mean, I guess he could with a second pylon to help wall, because it's just too much surface area for the Lings to get through.
All right, so probably going to have that Forge first, a early pool from Sziky, kind of starting off the same way he did game number 1, but he gets the gas as well. Is he gonna cancel this?
No, you cancel. Yeah. So just to get that, so typically you get the pool, and then you get the drone to get that 10th drone working.
Right. He actually doesn't send that next drone. Is he gonna go ahead and scout with this 10th drone, or he just puts it on the minerals? Okay.
No, yeah, because 2-player map, and typically it doesn't really matter if you scout here because you have 6 Lings anyways. So it doesn't kind of like change your decision tree in any way. So you kind of just scout with the 6 Lings, and the Overlord's going there too. So we do see the Forge fast expand. I like on 2-player maps, like for example, pylon scouting into like a 12 Nexus if they you know, don't. Whoa, okay, interesting. I like that. So he kind of does a bit of a switcheroo, right? Where he opens Ninepole, but he actually gets the hatch first. But it still forces Zhanhun to make a cannon first. So that's actually really cool. I like that. Instead of going for the Lings immediately.
Right. The reason I was talking about sending that drone across the map, because I think if you see a Forge here, you can get away with just 2 Lings, right? But he's not going to see that Forge just yet. He hasn't seen at least a Zealot just yet, so he knows that most likely it's going to be a Forge first. He only makes 4 Lings, so yeah, he's got a pretty good idea of what's coming here. Oh no, that 6? Okay, he did actually produce 6. Never mind.
Yeah. So this is great because, you know, if you force 2 cannons on the Ninepole, then that's actually fine. The danger is if you go 6 Lings and they only make 1 cannon and they wall off with probes and you don't get anything done. So, oh, is he going to get in there? So we don't have a probe block. Oh, we do have it at the ramp, but can we get over there? So we don't get any probes, and we cancel that second cannon. So that's really good from Zhanhun because he knows he doesn't need a second cannon anymore. So I wonder if we can get a probe. Okay, we get 1. I don't think that's quite even yet. If we can get a second one, that'll be great.
Ooh,
okay,
nice.
We got a second one. And it goes into the base. Zyky's micro is just insane. So now I'm liking the position here for Sziky. I think that getting that second probe was super crucial to making this worth it, especially because Zhanhun canceled that second cannon. If the second cannon stayed, one probe is probably fine. But this canceling, you probably need one. Oh, can he get another one? Oh man, Sziky is just so amazing. He always finds a way into the Protoss space, and man, he's just doing so well. Finding value with these 9 full links.
Very nice job. I thought that Zhanhun was definitely going to hold that off easily with those 2 cannons, but he sacrifices the 1 cannon. It leaves him a little bit open for the run by, and I'm sure he's kind of kicking himself now for not letting that cannon finish. He's getting completely scouted here. He's lost quite a few probes, and this is just never fun to deal with 1 Ling in your base this early on.
Yeah, so I'm liking this opener from Sziky. I mean, the supplies don't look great, but you know the Overlord just popped out, making some more. Oh, actually, I missed the Zealot. So, ooh, this Zealot could do a lot. Oh, we also get a probe. I mean, a drone. That's not good. So, this might be the move that actually turns it back in his favor. I mean, a single Zealot with that probe can be very devastating. And I don't even know if. Okay, we do have Lings. Good.
The Lings do pop out. He gets right on top of the Zealot. Perfect micro with the drones, actually. That was a great drone drill to just completely neutralize that Zealot, not allow it to get any more damage. But another Zealot walking here into the 3rd base. Very, very annoying stuff. Zhanhun taking advantage of Ziky's lack of awareness because he's macroing up and controlling that Ling in the main. I think he actually lost that Ling now just because of all the chaos going on in the map, but Zhanhun, he's doing the right things, man. He's really taking advantage of his awareness.
Yeah, so doing well. The Corsair is already almost out. We also have a fast Citadel, so I wonder if that actually signals. Sometimes you can go for a sneaky, super duper fast Zealot push, but I think he actually might open Templar here. And Templar can be very deadly because sometimes you don't really have defenses. Oh, it looks like, never mind. It'll probably be a Speed Zealot push with the +1, second gateway on the way. But let's see how many Overlords he can get. I mean, the Spire is about to complete, so I don't think he will get any Overlords, actually.
The important thing to note when going up against the quick Zealot attack is the positioning of the buildings here. Will Sziky have good positioning? Is he going to have a nice wall in here at the front? At the 3rd base, it's a little bit more difficult. You can't just wall the front. You have to set things up so that you have a sunken in a good spot where you can surround it with those drones. Looks like the Corsair manages to get 1 Overlord, but loses that Corsair to the Scourge as they pop out. That's not good. You never want to lose that first Corsair.
And I think he wasn't making Sairs and +1 nonstop, actually. I wasn't watching carefully, but we only have 1 additional. Oh, and there's another Ling run by, gets in there, but I think we do have a cannon in the main, so I don't think this is going to do too much. Or maybe we can deny that cannon from finishing. That would be really annoying.
It looks like he doesn't see the cannon until just now, so the cannon is going to finish up here. Nice surround with the probes as well. Does he even lose 1 probe? Nope, no probes go down. Nicely done. That's a good spot for a sunken. Damn, that is a really nice little nook there. And I want to mention 1 Corsair going down, that drastically increases the possibility of mutas popping out here. There's that sunken finishing up. Can he actually get the surround on it? He does. And the drones are not being sent to the natural. If he sends the drones to the natural and then jumps all over those Zealots, you should be able to get that. But damn, the Zealots just killed that so quickly. There we do have some mutas popping out, but it takes a very long time to kill this number of Zealots with just 3 mutas, man. It's going to take forever. And is he actually going to get this hatchery?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the hatchery's going to go down. That's frustrating.
You know, it's so crazy because, I mean, he's getting the drone. I mean, this is nasty. Yeah, that's GG. So, man, that's such a heartbreaker because, like, I think, as you said, man, Zhanhun playing so superbly well because, you know, that 9 pull coming in, right? Got 2 probes, got a Ling in the base. So I would say slightly Sziky favored, but then the problem is when you're microing that much inside the main base, you kind of lose sight of a sneaky Zealot out there. So I really think that Zealot killing that one drone and denying mining actually turned around the entire game. I mean, it's just crazy because if that didn't happen, if you didn't, you know, force drone pulls or, you know, stuff like that, those mutas would be out like 5 seconds earlier. And if they're out 5 seconds earlier, that Zealot push doesn't work. But Zhanhun understands the importance of tempo in PvZ, right? Like slowing down, forcing a worker pull, buying yourself 2, 3, 4, 5 seconds to make your push a little bit more potent. So really well played there. And man, he's just looking solid and he goes up 2-0 in this series.
Yeah, absolutely. I do agree. I think that sunken positioning looked great. Being stuck behind the evolution chamber, but he wasn't able to get his drones on top of those zealots and block them from killing off that sunken. So it didn't really buy that much time. Everything kind of fell apart as soon as those zealots ran in. I guess he didn't see those actually coming out either, did he? Must have missed that movement from the zealots just running down. A great timing attack from Zhanhun. Good game sense, good game knowledge shown off here. Can Sziky make a comeback, guys? We're going to find out game number 3. So that's coming up next.
Yeah. It's going to be Neo Silfield. So this has to be the Zerg map. Kind of interesting that yeah, and let's see what's going to happen. And we're going to get into the game. All right, as the Blue Zerg, at the 12 o'clock, we have Sziky with the OP mining position.
And down in the bottom left, our red Protoss player, Zhanhun.
All right, so, okay, well, things looking good for Sziky. He's got the first scout, and he's got the 12 o'clock mining. So, look at him. Look at that drone on the corner there. Look at it just boost like a rocket ship. That's crazy. So it's just like that is gonna, you know, he knows how to boost and he's gonna use that to his advantage. And sometimes, you know, let's see if he actually goes 9-pull again here. And I would love to actually see a 9-pull from this position because those things come out real quick.
The RNGesus smiles down on Sziky today. Gets all the good luck that he needs here. Hopefully it's enough to take down Zhanhun. Zhanhun just sending his probe out in the right direction as well. Gonna come up here and scout this base. Yeah, throwing down the pool here. Sziky gonna go for 9-pool once again. Of course, you can't really throw down a 12 hatch with the probe annoying you, so you kind of have to go for the pool anyway, but... Oh, actually, it is an overpool. Okay.
Yeah, so... Overpool, it's probably going to be a 12 forge from Zhanhun, right? And then, oh wow, we got that nice probe micro there. And yeah, I think even from this position with a super fast pull, I didn't actually see when the pull came down, but even if you go 12 forge, you have to actually get the cannon before the Nexus. Otherwise, you're kind of in trouble. And again, that's all from the mining. Like I know it sounds like one of those try-hard elitist details, but if your Ling comes in 2 seconds earlier, right before it actually finishes, then it actually changes a lot of things. So it looks like Zhanhun might be going for the Nexus first. But yeah, I don't quite remember when that pull quite went down, but I think that the Ling can actually get there before it finishes.
Oh god, it's gonna be close. There's the cannon. Getting started here. He only built 2 Lings. Okay. It's only 2 Lings coming out here.
Yeah, actually, maybe not. Yeah, maybe not. I think, yeah, that's the whole point, right? So you really just wants to force the Protoss to just pull, right? Because that'll just kind of cause a detriment to the economy, and you can even just slide past that. So, looks like Sziky is going to take the 3rd base at the 3 o'clock position. Don't think the Lings will actually get there in time, unfortunately. But it's still good to at least pressure it so that you can force a pro pull, but it looks like Zhanhun isn't even going to pull at all. So, yeah, unfortunately, it didn't work out for him there, but sometimes you can actually get there if you get your pull fast enough.
Yeah, and he's fine from this position, only producing 2 lings. His economy should be looking great. Built a ton of drones up here, and he's got his 3rd going already. Getting that gas, but being annoyed by this probe quite a lot. Finally, these lings are going to return. That probe with 5 HP, drone with 5 HP, excuse me, just
Oh
about
my
gets taken out
god.
there.
Yeah, that's so, dude. I mean, even this probe is just causing a lot of disruption to the mining of that gas. And man, looking really good for Zhanhun here.
Yeah, the probe control is next level. Zhanhun back at home. He's hitting his stride perfectly as well, getting that cyber core. Gonna have his Stargate up here very shortly. And should be in a good position to take this into a mid game. I'm really excited to see these guys go late though.
Yeah, I mean, Sylphid is a really hard map for Protoss, and that's kind of funny that I say that because I don't know if you've heard, but have you heard of Neo Sylphid 2.9? There's a new Sylphid out there coming out in the new ASL, and let's just say that it is not as Zerg friendly against Protoss.
Oh, really? Wow, I'm
Yeah.
interested.
It actually, I mean, it's very similar. Like, there's no crazy changes, but basically the change is that they added another smaller mineral patch in the natural at the base, and then they also changed the fiber block to include like more cannons. You can include more cannons for like a Hydra bust. So it kind of balances out PvZ a little bit. I don't know what the implications are for like the other matchups, but it makes PvZ a little bit more balanced here. But this is still the old Sylphid, so this is the one that's still, you know, favored towards Zerg.
Oh, here comes a bunch of lings. The speedling's gonna get in here.
Oh,
Whoa!
how did he
Had
get
the
in there?
block. He had the
Yeah.
block, but he messed it up. 2 lings managed to get in. Quite a few ended up dying at the natural, but he's gonna have to pull his probes away. That's very annoying. Instant counterattack here from Zhanhun. He's just gonna send his zealots across the map. Hopefully a few more lings are being produced back at home. Otherwise, he might suffer the same fate as last game. No, just drones. Okay, a few lings, actually 4 lings at the natural.
The most impactful thing here is that he's not mining gas at the main base, because this is super crucial, especially when you go for a Corsair type opener. And he's gonna really feel it. This is gonna push back his High Templars. It's gonna push back his Dragoon timings. And it doesn't seem like a big deal, but it really, really is, especially against a guy like Sziky. And we get a second probe, so this is already showing lots of value, although that Corsair is starting to punch down that Overlord. So let's see if that Scourge gets out in time to stop this from getting more kills. Oh, and both those Zealots survive!
Great micro there with the 2 zealots. I thought for sure that Sziky had that covered. He was even microing heavily here. He lost his Zerglings in the main during all this, but still not able to kill off these 2 zealots. He's not going to lose any drone. Okay, he did lose a drone. I really thought he wasn't going to lose a drone, but Zhanhun manages to target one down as their drone drilling through and past, and gets another zealot here into the 3rd. Gonna push away these drones for a second. Advantages everywhere for Zhanhun here. Gonna get maybe one more drone. Oh, pull it away, pull it away.
Oh my god. Yeah, this is really rough because every time Sziky finds an advantage, Zhanhun finds it right back. And the thing is, if that Zealot didn't go to 3 o'clock, Sziky probably could have harassed the mineral line of Zhanhun at the natural and picked off at least 3, 4, 5 probes, because the Corsairs are not at critical mass. And so I think he got a little bit flustered, and I don't think he even has 5 mutas. That looks like 4 mutas, so we can't even harass the probe line. So unfortunately, Sziky not, you know, maybe he's feeling a little bit of the pressure. Maybe that kind of multitasking around the map, maybe his chops aren't quite feeling it today. But yeah, Zhanhun is looking really good. Man, he lost those 2 probes. Nice time of that gas mining, but got right back into the game because he's just a really good player.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Zhanhun may have kind of read Sziky here. He knows that while Sziky is very, very good at the Ling micro and getting into the main base with those Lings, he's not well prepared for the Zealot counterattack while he's doing all that multitasking. So 2 games in a row, he gets pretty good damage just off of a quick counter attack. Even though he lets Lings in, he still ends up coming out ahead. And now we're switching into Hydralisk, so Sziky taking it to the next stage of the game.
Yeah, so I mean, I like Zhanhun's play here because against Muta openers, you want to continue making Sares and you want to tech immediately to Templar Archives. I personally like to continue making probes. That's also what Zhanhun is doing. So probably either going for a big bust, but with Zealot High Templar, I don't think that's what he's going to do, but maybe. I would assume that once he feels safe, he'll go out, take the third base, just get a big ball and start playing that late game. Because, you know, we've seen Zhanhun just such a super solid player at every stage of the game.
Well, I hope that Zhanhun doesn't make a course or a Archon here, because if he does, he would have had a incorrect read, because Sziky is not building any more Mutalisks. He's just going straight into Hydra. Looks like he's keeping those two as Templar. That's great. He's building up more cannons as well. He's getting ready for this attack. He's gonna have his Storm on time. It's like a little bit of harassment coming down here, but this is all that Sziky can get. Oh, killing off the pro behind the mineral line. That's kind of cute. Now you can't micro your Corsairs quite as well until you get another trap probe. That's a little bit funny.
Yeah. I was hoping he'd get a little bit, you know, if he had 5 mutas instead of 4, he could probably micro that and start to like do a little bit more damage, unfortunately. But yeah, I think he just got a little bit, you know, out of position. We lose 1 Corsair, but we take out all the mutas. So I think this is, I think Sziky's still in a good spot either way. And he's also taking that other main, which is very interesting. You usually don't see that, but it looks like Sziky might actually opt for a bit of a more turtley type game, maybe? I don't know, because Sziky's also the kind of guy that likes to, you know, he's the definition of a best defense is a good offense. Oh, and we do scout it with the drones. That's so unfortunate, but Zealots are moving down. But it looks like we do have some hiders in place. But actually, these hiders might get caught there before they go up the ramp.
Ooh, that is painful. Oh. So painful. 4 hydras going to get caught there and sniped. Zealots heading down to the bottom right. They can't be defended. I don't think he's going to be able to defend this 4th base, man. This might end up just going down. That's really unfortunate.
Well, we do have some reinforcements, so actually this might turn out okay. Oh, we got a sick lurker block. Okay, good micro from Sziky. Also, Zhanhun bleeding some of those Corsairs for free. And looks like we are going to save this. And actually, what seemed like was, you know, something that was going to be a disaster is actually looking really good for Sziky, because now he's going to stop all of these Zealots. Granted, Zealots got some value, but we also lost a couple of Corsairs. The 4th base lives. We have Lurkers out. We deny any sort of, you know, Lurker timing, because it looks like he wants to go, and he loses some more Corsairs! Ooh. He's blocking everything, so this is looking really good for Sziky all of a sudden. Things just kind of flipped, because Zhanhun was looking like he was in a good position when he caught those hiders out of position.
Yeah, it looked like he could just run straight down to the bottom right-click that hatchery and kill it, but he opts not to do that. He keeps fighting with the Hydralisk, and enough time is bought for the reinforcements. He clears that up. Now Sziky is looking so powerful. He has a ton of income. He's even sent some drones down to the bottom right. He's getting that gas. And I'm kind of surprised. He's already on 4 gases. He's getting that gas right away. So he wants to build into a ton of lurkers. He's probably getting his hive tech as well now. Looking to just secure. Yeah, hive is already done. So wow, really going for late game play here. Sziky has a plan in mind this game.
Yeah, he's looking really strong. I mean, I'm loving this position because you don't want Zerg to get another main base. And if this is the case, you have to at least you have to go kill the Zerg now, because you don't even have a 3rd base. And looks like he wants to take another base over there, but it looks like we do have either a Ling or an Overlord in position at the top left. It looks like we might go in for a punch, but Sziky is also a little bit out of position. He's got a big counterattack, but there are also a ton of cannons there, so I don't know how successful this is going to be.
Oh no, Templars here. Lurkers as well. This is looking pretty good. Ziki might actually be able to break through here. Meanwhile, an attack at the natural.
Oh, and he gets the observer!
Big moment there for Ziki as he breaks through here at the front as well. Yeah, Zhanhun just forced to turn around and go home. This is terrible for Zhanhun. He is in so much trouble now.
Yeah, I mean, he is going to clean this up because he doesn't have enough Hydras anymore. And actually, the smart thing for Ziki to do would be to just kind of pick up those Lurkers and walk away. Maybe take out that Forge. But yeah, the biggest thing that he bought here was time. And time is the most valuable resource when it comes to Hive Tech, because Zhanhun needed to get something done with that big push, but we sniped the Achilles heel with the Observer. And he's going to come back out for a push, but I mean, look at the supplies. They're just about even. Oh, actually, you know, where are the Lurkers? Okay, it looks like we might be out of position, so... And we do have a lot of High Templar, so this could go really wrong. But let's see how things shake out. Flanking from both sides.
Those are so many Lurkers in a big stack there. Get Templar stormed all over them. Man, that is so rough, but Ziki with huge amounts of cracklings coming from both sides, really cleaning up this army. I think with his rallies, he can actually finish this off. This is looking really good for the Zerg now. I thought that with those great storms, he was going to be able to clean up, but just massive amounts of lings come through, and Ziki now ahead in supply. He has a +2 done for his Hydras. No armor just yet. Zhanhun with that +1/+1, not able to win that fight. He's going to try and take a third here, but his army has been so destroyed. He's got almost no Templars left over. Can he hold off this counterattack while he's attacking down to bottom right? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think this is going to work because we don't have any High Templar in Storm. We kind of burned it. Remember the gas that Ziki was denying? That gas is really hurting right now. And so we got the big counterattack from Ziki. I think, yeah, Zhanhun is probably out of options here. You only have one High Templar without even any Storm. Gonna take out that Forge, and honestly, it gets really tricky because a lot of Zergs in this meta like to go many Hydras, but once that +1 Carapace kicks in, these Zealots are gonna do nothing against Cracklings.
I thought that DT might have been able to clean up these Lurkers, but the splash damage actually comes through and saves Ziki there. He's even going to get in on this mineral line, and the rallies are pouring across the map. Ziki just taking out this Nexus, forcing him back. GG is called. Zhanhun taps out, and Ziki takes his first win. Nice. We got a series.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, that was an amazing play by Ziki because it was looking real dicey there when Zhanhun may have sniped that base at the bottom right and got some free Hydras. If he sniped it, was a little bit more careful with his Corsairs, and then just walked away, took a third base, and then just played on, he would have been in a beautiful spot. But man, Ziki playing really well, man. His unit control, he's taking good fights. Man, he's doing so many things well. And so, man, we have a really strong series, and I honestly think we should really pay attention to those first 5, 6, 7 minutes, because those little Ling skirmishes and those little Zealot counters are actually, you know, changing the course of all these games. Every single game, it's always like that. And so, really well played from both players.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you were right. He was a little bit out of position, Ziki was, as his opponent was coming across the map. He didn't have his Lurkers at the natural, and it looked like he might have been broken, but he just completely pincers that army as it's coming across the map. It was so spread out, and he just takes a great fight and crushes that army. That was so sick.
Yeah, it got kind of scary, to be honest, because he clumped up all those Lurkers, but the fact that Zhanhun was only on 2 base meant that he was completely all in, and also I think perhaps even the upgrades, well, I don't know if the upgrades kind of like kicked in there, but having Cracklings really helped in that situation, because usually the Lings would be really poor.
Yeah, for sure. He wanted to go into that super late game. The Hive was so quick. He was mining that gas really early, just building up that Lurker count. I think the idea was great from Ziki, and he played it out perfectly. So let's get into our next game. We're on Monopoly. Let's go game number 4.
All right, as the blue Protoss at the bottom left, we have Zhanhun.
And in the center right, our red Zerg player, it is Sziky.
Man, Monopoly. So, let's see. I think this is... I honestly like this for PvZ in some ways because, you know, you got the crazy other angle, right? Like, you just go around the map, and we saw him do that against TerrOr with a big counterattack that won him the game. You could also sneak, like, 8-10 Zealots over there to snipe a 4th base or do a counterattack right into the Zerg, and it's really hard for Zerg to always be scouting that. So let's see if he takes advantage of that opportunity here, and yeah, it looks like we got a 9 gateway as well. So great choice for Zhanhun.
Zhanhun gonna put on the pressure. Let's see what build Sziky goes for. He's been going for early pools so far every game. Maybe he's gonna mix it up and go for a 12 hatch. That could be pretty tough to hold. We'll see if he decides to go for that.
Yeah.
It looks like he might be.
Yeah, I think so. It looks like it might be an 11 hatch to kind of hedge against the gateway first, which I like. And the gateway first might, you know, could do some damage. I think the 11 hatch, it gets kind of dicey. It depends on how much you can slow down the Zealot. Sometimes you can use a little drone and then just kind of body block it a little bit or force it to kind of go away. So yeah, I think a great choice for Sziky. There's also that extra mineral patch in the main base, so it actually speeds up the timing of the pool. And I like that he also delays the drone scout because you want your drone to be mining, right? It gets you 8 extra minerals to get that pool a couple seconds faster. And he does it. He scouts right after. He sees that he's not the top left. And we're going to go ahead and see the Zealot scan. I think Sziky will be fine.
All right, I hope you're right. We've got Zhanhun sending that first Zealot across. The rush distance here is pretty small, and we're going to have that pool finishing up shortly here. Of course, the drone is trying to do a little body blocking, it looks like, but takes 2 hits, and only 1 more hit will finish it off, so he can't do any more body blocking with this drone. Just going to have to send it back home. Gets a pretty good round on that probe, almost finishes it off. That is a big deal. If that probe goes down, it means that he's not going to be able to combo those 2 units together, and the Zealot actually just heads straight back. So he forces the Lings and sends the rest back home immediately. There's our 6 Lings.
So I think even forcing the probes to kind of do that is a big deal. But 11 hatches, he's sitting pretty, so he's going to go back and defend. I like what we see. We also got a really fast gas from Sziky, so I think this time we're not going to see any Corsairs picking up Overlords because we're just going to have a you know, lots and lots of mutas and anti-air super fast. And oh, that probe. Okay.
Hold on, do we have the layer?
We should. Yeah.
Okay. Good.
Yeah, I mean, if you go for a super fast gas like that, typically that's probably a 5 muta opening, or he's just saying, I don't want your Corsairs to do any damage.
Right, but if you're sitting here and delaying your cannon by so much, it's possible to go for a Lingle, and that's not going to happen this game. But yeah, he's just going to. Yeah, it does throw me off sometimes when you're going to block the ramp as well. It's a little bit scary. He could be going for that speed, but no, he's not going for it. Just going to play it out normally. Still no 3rd base though.
Yeah, that's interesting, right? Oh, and the Leafs! What the heck? They just slipped by! Now, I don't know if we can get that cannon. Can we get it? Oh, it looks like we can get it. That's really annoying because even if he gets the cancel, it's really annoying to actually send that out. Just because, like, now he wanted to go for that timing. So if you think about it, he doesn't actually have to deal with this as much. But yeah, it looks like we're going for... Yeah, I thought actually there was going to be a hatchery. Maybe I was hallucinating, but... looks like we are just going 2 hatch muta, and I think we might just be trying to macro from there. Let's see how that works.
He's going to have to produce quite a few Lings here because this is a massive number of Zealots coming across. They don't have +1 or anything. We've got 6 Zealots here. He's even going to produce, looks like, a Sunken Colony as well to just try to hold this off. A lot of money has to be produced or used up to make this number of lings. So hopefully he can crush this army. A pretty good surround there, but I think Zhanhun taking the better of this trade. He's done a great job with Zealots so far. Look at that. All the Zealots just losing their shields, and none of them get taken out. That is a terrible situation for Sziky. He lost so many lings there.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what happened. I mean, we have like nothing. It's like 20-44. None of those Zealots fell, and we're gonna have to win it with the Mutas. It's got to be an all-in here because Zhanhun knows this is all-in.
Guys hasn't found the third base. Good surround on one of these Zealots, so actually taking a pretty good trade there, but he's just buying time for the Mutas here. He's got one sunken colony. I think you can almost run by here into the main. There's nothing blocking that ramp. Zhanhun not going to do it just yet. He's just kind of threatening here. Sitting out in the front. There's no more lings popping, so I mean, he's got to be wondering what's going on behind this, right?
Yeah, he knows. I mean, he's getting a couple of cannons, +1 air weapons.
Oh,
so
yeah,
I think
there you go.
fine.
Yeah, just running by up towards the main. Gonna sack his Zealots now. I don't know why he waited so long to try this run by, but he does buy a little bit of time for his cannons to finish up.
Oh my god.
Oh, the Zealot in the
don't do
main. Oh, that's so painful. Here he comes with the Mutas coming into the main. Can he actually get this done? He's gonna dive on top of this Corsair with the Scourge. Nice targeting on the Scourge with the cannon, but he finishes it off. Another Corsair does pop out, but retreats directly to the cannon. Oh wait, he didn't pick off that Corsair. Oh, I thought he actually got that with the Scourge, but he didn't. And just microing his heart out here. He actually finishes off both Corsairs with some good Mutalisk micro, but the cannons do finish up. You can see tons of Desperation cannons and a second Stargate coming up here. Zhanhun just knows all he has to do is hold on against this attack and he will be fine. 2 cannons in the natural as well. Wow, he really has a lot of money in this defense.
Yeah, I think this is going to be, you know, I don't want to call it because Sziky's got amazing control, but double Stargate cannons is the correct response here. We have 0 third base, and we lost, I don't know how many drones we lost to that Zealot there, but I mean, even if that Zealot didn't do any damage, this is just going to be really hard for Sziky, and I guess, I don't know what to do, actually. I guess you could kind of go all in, maybe go, I don't know actually, because he has no other tech and he's facing 2 Stargates. So even if you go all lings, right? Nah.
Here we go. He's going after the Corsairs. He gets one. He might get one more with the Scourge flying in here, trying to get it. He does get one more Scourge, or one more Corsair. He kills the cannon as well. There's only 2 cannons left here. Maybe with another good Scourge connection and a few more rallies, he can kill these last 2 cannons and actually break the natural, but 2 more Corsairs pop out. It's just so much production here with those 2 Stargates. It's going to be really hard to take an advantage and just ogres their gamer, get these Corsairs, and finish off this base. Yeah, he's trying his heart out. You can see even spreading the Mutas out there, but he loses so much. The control is crazy, but this is an unwinnable situation.
Yeah, for sure. So, yeah, I want to say there's a universe, but I can't quite see the universe for this one. So, I can't even get the gateway, man. I mean, we do get some Corsairs with the Scourge. We get some value there, but we just don't have anything. I mean, we don't even have full saturation at our natural. I mean, I guess it's almost there, but I guess it's not over technically yet. Like, I think maybe, I wonder if he even has +1 on the Carapace? Not even. So he can't even control the game with like a bunch of Muta Scourge and maybe hope to just catch the Corsairs snoozing, but okay, that's the GG, and Sziky taps out, which means Zhanhun with a very impressive 3-1 victory over the Zerg Hope there. So really well played, and he's going to go up to the Winners Bracket Finals to play DeWalt, and that's going to be a heavyweight PvP.
Awesome. So Zhanhun takes that win. That is exciting. DeWalt versus Zhanhun, a PvP. Guys, thank you so much for watching. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was amazing. Lots of good games. I was sad that we weren't able to see any more, late game, because it seems like they're really well matched up. But Zhanhun just showing his experience, showing his skill, showing that he's the better player here. And yeah, make sure you guys also tune in tomorrow, because we're also going to be going through the losers bracket. That's going to be Corp against XiaoShuai, and then we got TerrOr against Hawk, fellow Nas matchup here. So really good games, and we're probably going to finish off the losers bracket down there as well. At least through Boa, I think, or maybe not actually, but probably folks. Yes, yeah, going through the 2 rounds tomorrow in the losers bracket.
All right, perfect. Thank you guys so much for watching. My name is Sana. See, I got to run and get to work here, but I've really enjoyed this so much. Zhanhun, thank you very much. Zero, thank you for putting on this great tournament. It's been a lot of fun, guys. Check out my channel. I'm Sayan KCM on YouTube, and I'm out, guys. Thank you very much.
Yep, thanks for tuning in, and I want to give a big shout out to our sponsor Optimunk. It's hard to find sponsorships here for the small StarCraft scene, but really appreciate them kind of believing in us and giving the financial support for these amazing events. Also want to give a shout out to the Patreons. Star Lover, we got Anthony Chen, Martin Striker, Zero Sum, Robert Flizzardo, Cause, Tupacalypse, Nicholas, Christian, LML, Linge, Nine Tech, Quark, Ants, everybody else in the below. So if you want your name, shout out there, donate at least $20, and really appreciate everybody just kind of keeping the stream alive. So love the cast, I love the games, love BSL. Make sure you guys tune in and support in the future. So thanks everybody, and we also have some merch. Yeah, I didn't even know about this. So if you guys want to support and also get some merch, this is one great way. Rep this if you stream, wear it on your stream, and another way you can support here by getting some cool hoodies, cups, hats, sweaters, shirts, and all this other stuff. So all right, looks like that's about it. So thanks everybody for tuning in, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Okay. Awesome.